Okay, I think we should be live. Hello, it's Axus once Axus once in a blue moon stream, and I'm here with Augustus.
Once every set, even.
And Ba.
What up, yo?
And we're going to talk about the more interesting side of the metagame, or the new cards, I mean. The runner side was kinda boring, we just had like a couple of hot takes. But this time I think, at least I have prepared some takes that people are probably not going to be happy with.
They're gonna clash nicely with my takes.
100%.
Corp's to be wild. My take is that we should just put all the corp cards in D tier. Thoughts?
Yeah, cool. All right, pack it in. See you. Good night, everyone.
Rip Rashida rotating her that bad, huh?
Yep, there's no hope left. I'm going to Eternal and never coming back.
We need to start bringing the tournaments where you can just bring your runner decks now.
Runner versus runner.
Single-sided Swiss, one round. That's it.
Just get randomly paired. That's double-sided Swiss, where you just like ID every or 2 for 1 every round and just pick runner.
I mean,
we'll work on a strategy.
Yeah, I won some games as Corp today. I actually got to play some Netrunners today because I've been off work. Yeah, I've got a Bangan deck. It's gone like 10-3 on JNet Casual. I think that's probably about as good as a Bangan deck can ever do.
No, it's pretty good, to be fair.
Time to retire it.
JNet undefeated almost. If you're
JNet just 3 defeats, but they to good players. the good players the really good players I played against.
All right. I think we probably should start, so it doesn't go until 2 AM for me.
Yeah, true that.
And I think we're going in set order, like we did last time. That probably should work, right?
Yeah, makes most sense.
Yeah, just there. Okay, so the first card, one of the HB IDs, Leo Construction. Once per turn, you trash one Bioroid in route or protecting it, and just end the run. Basically, just infinite border controls. Surely, Ba, you have built like 15 versions of this list.
I haven't touched this yet. Like I really haven't had much chance to sort of build anything. Like I've hardly touched the new IDs at all. I mean, this is interesting. I'm worried about how many Bioroids there are that you can use to proc this. That's my kind of issue right now.
If we were back in 3.
Yeah, if you were back in the days of like Eli and whatever the free cost code gate, which was actually really hard to break, was then like yeah. I mean, it's cool.
I suck in these decks. Like, how desperate are we, my man?
Yeah, I mean, it does mean like it does. What I do like about it is that, like, obviously, any deck which is heavy on Bioroids, so you know the old AOT decks and things like that, you always had this problem where at the end of the day, if you're running a bunch of Bioroids, the runner can just click through your ice. And so this does have this nice little pressure valve on it where it's like, well, you can click through that Bran to get into the remote, but you might still not get into the remote if, you know,
if that was the 6-credit thing.
Yeah, but you know, that's if that gets you, it wins you the game, or it gets you, you know, to game point, and you just then need to like fast advance out the last agenda, then that's fine, right? Like that's what fair. This kind of idea is for.
Okay, that is right. We no longer have Chrysium, right? So Leo is kind of relevant if Sakadoomerism about the guy is real. But I don't know. You can also just put an Anoetic Void on HQ, and that kind of does. That's mostly what you would like. If Anoetic gets banned, Leo becomes a lot more interesting. But it seems like a strange world.
I think I've seen people be super up on this. Like I think, like I saw Cable Crunch play this and stuff like that. So like, it feels good, right?
I mean, yeah, it's probably about as good as you're going to get for a Purple Glacier ID right now. You know, there's nothing else which you're going to be putting it in.
So where are we going with it? Like I'm thinking about like A or B. That's not fair.
I think it's probably B.
I was considering C tier, but B
really? Like it's still another like.
Like with the current card pool, it's C tier. I don't know.
Okay, that's
like,
more
with a new
fair.
set, it will go up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they print like a cheap Bioroid, this like gets way more better.
Yeah, it like moves up point one each time.
Yeah,
and,
like when we get Nija back.
I mean, that would be the time it will see play.
Yeah, but I'm not putting it in C, I think.
That's fair.
It's unworkable still now. And then the more disappointing ID, Poetry Luxury Brands, which is 45 deck size, 15 influence, normal. Whenever you score an agenda, look at top 3 cards of your ND. You may install one non-agenda card from among them, and when card is stolen, you may install one card from HQ. Either of you have opinions on this? Except disappointment?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it does stuff. It is not strictly worse than PD, but I feel like in most situations it will be.
Yeah, same.
What it usually comes down to.
Like, when the set came out, I was thinking that this will be my Asa replacement, and it's just not.
Yeah, like even in Asa, you would rather PD up a fully upright than install a random card.
Yeah, 100%.
If you wanted to pretend to play that. And like installing a non-agenda card from HQ is not always relevant. So it's also not better than Fool if you're wanting to be nasty about things.
Yeah, I think I realistically also even almost want Sports Metal as like an asset ID over this.
Yeah, I mean, Sports was a good asset ID because you always had the thing where you could just spam out a bunch of assets, or like maybe you just accidentally picked up a like Hyperloop or the free one that becomes a free 2.
Yeah.
The Mega Pre.
The score part of this compares favorably to Sports, right? Like you getting credits or drawing cards is comparable to installing one for free. But whenever they steal, it's like you would much rather be Sports Metal and be able to draw for more stuff rather than install one random card.
Yeah, I've played against a couple of poetry so far, and I've found it incredibly telling if you steal an agenda and they don't install anything from their hand, and then you probably run HQ and steal 3 more agendas. I don't. There's something about it which doesn't quite. Yeah, the way that the triggers work don't seem. You know, when you're flowing, and I think when you're scoring, it kind of rolls quite nicely, and you can get a good rhythm going. And I've had people very much like at least one poetry deck really tempo out against me because they were just scoring 3-2 into 3-2 with a powers that be down and keep jamming something back in the remote with the poetry trigger. And that felt pretty good. So I think the scoring trigger is like kind of all right. I think the on steel trigger feels a lot worse.
Yeah, I think a big part of this idea not feeling great is the agenda suite. Agenda suite, you're kind of forced to build with it.
Yeah.
When there's no good 3-pointers, your agenda suite starts looking like 12 agendas or something, and that's not hype.
Yeah, I mean this is an idea that desperately wants GFI.
Yeah, exactly.
And doesn't have it.
But that said, it's not unplayable, right? So we can put it in C tier. It's not.
I think C tier is fair.
That works.
Like, it's your current quotation mark asset ID if you don't if you refuse to play PD or something.
Yeah, and you should just be playing Fule, but there we go. Yeah, stick it in C tier. It's fine.
On this channel, we don't like encourage tool play, so you have to watch out.
Post your fool with fat decks below.
You will get banned. But speaking of assets, I think this is the like GOAT asset card of the set. For HB at least.
GOAT? Like,
Wait, which one are we talking about?
Aggressive trend setting. Basically, first time you use trash or...
Okay.
It's just trash? No, never mind. Yeah.
it's a lot worse than Ares.
Worse?
Yeah. Like, Ares costs you 2 click, or like a click and 2 credits every time it activates.
Yeah, but you can float tags up with this. Like, every time you trash, you just have to lose shit.
I mean, or you can give them a click and then compilation HQ, I don't know.
I guess, but like... Still, I feel like this is going to be extremely toxic after HB gets good asset cards.
Yeah, I think this is actually quite good. Like, it's a classic, like... Yeah, it's a classic...
I was just saying it's not literally the GOAT.
Okay, yeah. I might be overusing the word GOAT somewhat, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, this is, like, you can occasionally give a purple deck an extra click and you're not going to lose the game on that, but the fact that you can combine that with like an installed wage workers, or now you can even like top down a wage workers and score out a 4-2 using that extra click, it's quite, there's a lot that you can do with it. And yeah, the poetry deck I lost to managed to get a second one of these scored against me, and then essentially the game is over. Like when you had multiple Ares scored against you, you always had the option of like, okay, at some point I'm just going to go aggressively tag me and hope they don't have it, or deal with their tag punishment in some way. And
you just can't float these in the same way.
Yeah, you can't just start giving like the corp 5 clicks a turn. Like and so if you're making a deck correctly where there are must trash assets and things like Hollow Man, you know, anything which represents a win con, then it can get pretty rude.
You gotta be careful. This is still a 3-1, but I'm good with placing it pretty high, like 80 or something.
I think it's definitely 8 tier with possibility to be in as. Like, imagine if you had actually assets that you needed to trash currently in the metagame. Like, imagine 2017 Moons with this.
That would be disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. Like
currently you have like wage workers, which they're probably just going to let you have, right? And
if you score this,
auto campaign scoring.
Auto campaign, I guess, but like even that you kind of can just let be there and run HQ punch.
I disagree. Auto campaign, it gives you enough clicks that you could even draw and still score.
No, auto campaign is kind of not.
We'll get onto that one. I think this goes in A tier.
Yeah, 100%. And A tier with S tier at some point when assets become good again.
They better bring this bone before that happens. Or else Never might be over.
And next one is a bit of a letdown for me. Project Ingotan, a 3-2 agenda with Defense 1. And when your discard phase ends, you may remove one counter to install one card from archives, ignoring all costs.
Say letdown. Like, were you expecting this to be like an AS tier card, or?
I just want Vitruvius back, brother.
I have no experience with this one. The fact that it gives you a free install in addition to Vitruvius decks, I found was relevant for the new Atlas a lot. I don't know if it's true for this though.
Like, it's fine with this, but Vitruvius for the biotic that you need to score out, Vitruvius for the full operational was great. like every single card you wanted to withdraw with, typically, you are not getting back with this.
Oh, that's fair. You can't even like choose something and not install it like with Atlas, right? It has to be.
Yeah. Also, being at the discard phase is so much more worse than paid ability window. Like, it's disgustingly worse comparatively. Like, this card is nowhere near Vitruvius level. But it's still a 3-2.
I was already not
so,
high on Vitruvius beforehand.
Yeah. But like, it's a 3-2 agenda in a world where HB agenda suites are dog shit. So like, you kind of have to play it.
You mean dog shit? We still have ADT and Offworld. Why would you ever consider
Okay,
this?
the PD agenda suite is bad, but like the poetry agenda suite, for example, you have to play this, right?
I suppose so, but you don't want to play poetry, so a problem.
Okay, fair. Like, I think the baseline is basically B tier, right?
Yeah, sure. I probably can't. There could be a blank 3-2 and it would be B tier.
Yeah, but my vibes wanted to put it in C, but like, is it too unfair?
Yeah, I think it just sneaks into B tier. It does do something. You will see people over advancing this, although not by when you used to have a Vitruvius counter, you often felt like you potentially had a win con there, and this is much less kind of able to
imagine a world
to do
where
that.
you have like the moons or something, and you Ingotan that back. That's kind of good, right? Okay, it's not even that good because moons is like end of turn.
So basically, Axu's solution for solving HB's problems right now is bring back moons.
Just print back every single OPS 2017 asset.
Yeah, just print Wage Workers 2, except it has a trash cost of 5, and then we're.
I mean, Eternal would be kind of hype with 3 Jeeves.
Ooh, yeah. I'm on board.
Install 3, advance 3, you still get 3 clicks back. Yeah, solid beater card.
Now the real hot takes begin, surely.
Surely. So, human resources. The 3 clicks trash gains 4 credits, plus 3. Draw 3 cards, install up to 2. You may play 1 operation from HQ.
Who wants to go first?
We can just put this in S tier, right? It's Rashida. Costs 2 influence, tragically. But
Cool. I want to put it in D tier. I think it
What the
sucks
fuck?
ass.
Oh! Brother, what? Surely it's fucking busted as shit. Like, you get so much value out of this shit.
No, this is nowhere near as good as everyone assumed it was going to be.
On.
And most importantly, I think it's the weakest in purple, and I think everyone else should probably be slotting an anthill for the same influence, with a small exception of possibly like some kind of yellow deck that jams out in a server, but I think this is weak.
What kind of maths are we doing to say that anthill is better? Isn't this just a 1-turn anthill? Like anthill takes 2 turns to pay off, this takes 1, and it gives you the same?
It doesn't give you the same. It really forces your hand into exactly what you're doing on that turn. You have to have an operation, and an operation that you want to play.
Yeah.
Which
you
is.
You can just ignore that part of the card and it's still S tier. Like, just
no, it's not. Like
it's not S tier with that card part gone, but still, like, the value you get out of this shit when it pops off is so huge. You get like toxic turns.
I think the value that you get off this when it pops off is okay. Like, I don't like it is far from Rashida, which I know is like an obvious
game,
yeah. But like, that's why people are attached to this, I feel, because they're like, this is the closest we have to Rashida.
Yeah.
But it's not. I think people are going to be more disappointed popping this off like than they're expecting. They're gonna hit this. They're gonna not draw an operation which they really want. They're gonna like draw into several agendas which they can't kind of install in advance, and they haven't got a seamless or anything like that. And it's just gonna be like, it's just gonna be crap. I think this is ass.
This is fucking libel right here.
The thing that I don't understand is, like, okay, you have an anthill, you like install and put it behind ice, and then your opponent runs that ice, and you don't have money to rest the anthill anymore, and you concede, right? Like, this being 1 credit is a huge upgrade over anthills, even if it will return.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, that's a deck building issue.
Drawing all your agendas and not having operations is not a deck building issue, apparently.
Deck building issue, you have to put all 2-cost ice in your deck, or you concede. That doesn't seem like great deck building.
Finally a deck where fly swatter is good.
Yeah, like you just play Fly Swatters, Masquerovkas. There's loads of ice that you can res and protect an anthill like turn 1.
They're
doing it all
hole,
day.
then you're like, huh, okay, that also works against this, but
Like even install tree line, install anthill, take a credit is good enough. Obviously, then they run it and then they put a Botulus on it, and then you're really sad. But like let's not worry about that. They could have done that with anything.
Or they didn't do anything. Yeah. My anthill's very fragile.
Yeah,
I mean, this is also fragile, but like, it's just so much value when it hits. Like, I think this is the card that keeps PD alive, like the normal Rotom 2021 PD, you know?
Okay, so here's the question: like, what operation are you playing?
3 petty cash, 3 hedge fund.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Like, have you got
F6,
slots for
then you
petty
can
cash?
kind of-
Because like old school PD wouldn't have had slots for petty cash.
Yeah, but you lost all your fucking good econ cards. Like, you just switch out, like the what's it called? Creating the palms into petty caches, and it's good.
I could see it maybe in PD then. Okay, I'll
And like, imagine you play this in PD, you pop, you install Ice on remote, Agenda in remote, and play Hedge Fund on top of it. And you have like Tranquility in there. It cooks.
Like, also in other decks, I might sometimes prefer an anthill, but if your deck is like Alcoa, that is trying to find a cohort and install it, you'd much rather pop this, finding a cohort.
Yeah, draw 3, like, you don't have to keep protecting this. The remote is open for instantly to jam next thing in there.
I'm gonna wait for the first time when you get really pissed off because you've drawn into stuff which you don't want to install and you didn't draw an operation that you really want to play. And I'm gonna be.
What kind of deck have you built that there's not like,
Bad one. Like, if you don't want to do anything with your cards, like, unlucky brother.
I mean, you know, that's my opinion on it. It's like I'm saying D just to be like
controversial,
flamboyant here, but I would be putting this in C tier myself.
Are you getting overruled? This is Rashida.
Yeah, Augustus, are we putting it in S, or for solidarity putting it in A?
No solidarity here with people who have wrong takes.
Yeah, agreed. Like, definite S tier material over here. Also, it has the greasing line, which is cooking.
What's the greasing line?
You install,
like, you don't
install it greasing, get a clickback, pop it.
Oh, with RLC, you mean?
Yeah.
We're like
no, yeah. Potato.
I'm not too sure about that last bit.
Like, I'm very suspicious that that's ever.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the sauce.
But there we go.
I mean, it's
anyway.
Good. Then the other broken asset in the set.
This one I'll agree with. This is
really?
yeah, this is
good.
This is a ton better than the the crap that you've just put in S tier.
No,
like,
come
honestly.
Hey. The alliances are switching up here every time.
I'm thinking of cutting this from my PD deck, man.
Yeah, it's not a PD card, brother.
Oh, fair.
Okay.
Well, but what is it then?
Yeah, it's a card that gets you load 6 credits onto it, and when it's empty, you trash it, gain 2 clicks, and when your turn begins, you get 2 credits from it. Like, people are calling this worse than Marilyn campaign.
That's wild. It's like absolutely wild. This is an econ card. It's a small amount of econ. It's not like the best econ, but it is econ, and it's a win con in one. Now, the last time we saw a card like that in the last set was Cohort Guidance Program, which none of us knew what it did when the tier list came out. We massively like disrespected it, and it then turned up in every freaking deck, and we bumped it up quite a bit. I think
it was
this
Asa specifically, but it was fine.
Yeah. No, there was. We saw it in other decks as well. I think, like early doors, before people realised that then you just had to trash it on site.
Well, yeah, that's.
Yeah, like imagine auto campaigning like Asa or something.
Yeah, busted.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
this has opened up some really wild lines which I've been playing around with for fast advancing 5-3s and 4-2s really obviously very easily, but also 4-2s like with extra tempo, like also getting a powers that be out and stuff like that. There's a lot of lines here, and this becomes a must trash. It's kind of taking the place of MCA austerity policy, but in a different way. So MCA like took resources away from the runner. This is giving resources to the corp, and they both pop off in about the same amount of turns.
I might just be clouded by variance because I put this in an op deck with like intent to do some nasty stuff with powers that be, and I've not gotten it to trigger and score a single time, either because they run HQ or because I didn't have an agenda by that point.
Yeah, I think it's like a asset HB card, and like all these asset HB cards are good in the set. You just don't have the cohesive deck around it because your agendas are too bad, and you don't have an ID to play them from. Like imagine a world with GFI, Asa, and both of these two new asset cards.
Yeah, I'm expecting this to at some point turn up in the kind of, I mean, it won't be R+, but like the sort of R+ assets type lists which we saw last year, because you've got to trash it. Like I could see this working really well in something like Epiphany. Something along those lines.
3 influence, which is not fun.
I guess that's
better citizen program around. Can you score that with this?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this is an A tier card myself, but I'll let you two decide on it.
I'm fine with accepting it. I think it's like borderline for me between A and B.
Okay, I thought from your opinion that it's like C tier or something.
No, I was just like, well, Ba opened up like this was better than Human.
I mean, Ba thinks so, yes, but like... Okay, solid A tier.
Fine.
And then Jai's favorite card of the set, Boommy 1.0. When you rest his eyes, you may trash one installed Trojan. Bioroid subroot, it's Bioroid, so you get a click thing. Trash one program, do one core. And it's a 3/3 sentry. I probably can start and say that I thought this would be way better than it actually was. Like when I saw it for the first time.
It was more than just Leo bait?
Yeah. Like first time I saw it, I looked at the stat line, like yeah, this is good. You also get a magnet, and the subroutines do something. And then Jai talked about you just played Drafter over this, and I somehow had to stay my ground.
Also, the core damage only does something if you care about that thing, right?
Yeah. Also, it does nothing on like turn 1 or something, and it's like 3/3, which is... It's good, but not like game-winning.
Like, this is a Leo card exclusively, but if I could get away with not playing this in Leo, I would be so much happier. So, like, it has some use, so maybe don't put it in D tier, but it's a D tier in spirit.
Yeah, it will see play and it does I'm hoping that it ends up being trash and no one plays it because I'm still hyped on Arasana, and this is better than Magnet was for Arasana, or against Arasana. But the fact that it doesn't have an end run it makes it a lot worse than Magnet, in any other situation.
I'm down with D-Terra. It's your worst Leo card, kinda.
I feel like it should be in C. I think it will see play. I think you'll see some
it will see
oblists
play, but
probably
nobody's happy with
splashing
it.
this.
And Arisana
I mean,
is
you're
not
gonna be
good, so you don't play this as an Arisana tech card.
No, but Botulus is everywhere at the moment. I think you'll be happy with this when you trash a Botulus that's on your inside ice as they're on their way in to get through. It's not great, but I think it will see.
You play
a
one
bit
of
of
or
play.
something, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe C makes sense.
I'm down with that.
Then the next one, Scatterfield. While this is the only ice on a server, it gets +4 strength, and you install one card from HQ and end the run. Which, again, built Asa card, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, this set is the gimme all the Acer tools that you can.
Yeah, but then they killed Asa, my
The actual
child.
important one.
Yeah, apart from the ID. This seems good. This seems like perfectly fine card.
Yeah, it's very narrow, but I guess it probably goes in every trend-setting deck, right? So we put it alongside trend-setting. On its own merits, I don't want to put it that high, but
I said HB
the ice we have,
will play 3 of these every time, right?
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy people try to import this outside of faction too, though I don't approve of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good.
Well, code gates are a bit crap right now. You haven't got good ones to play in OB, for instance.
Yeah,
so
After Descent. But in opposite.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Asset OB probably plays this.
That's what I'm thinking. If you're protecting a whatever, anything that's not a Hearts and Minds, you could protect with this, and you'll be pretty happy about it.
I'm talking myself down to B, but if y'all are at 7,
I mean, I think it's a card that goes to support the asset decks. It's not a card that builds the asset decks,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
yeah, I'd leave it where it is. It seems fine.
Yeah, if there was tier between A and B, I think it would go in there.
Makes sense to me.
If we did the coward tier list, it would be an archetype role player.
Oh, easy now. Easy.
We're starting beef again. Let's go.
Hey, I said nothing. Solid beater card. And then we get Biotic Labor number 2, Nano Management. Literally Biotic Labor text.
I'm confused by this.
Confused?
It feels quite bad right now.
Well, it's contextually OP and Nebula, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, that is actually fair.
But that's Nebula being broken, not this card.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Are we making a tier list for the current meta or for when Nebula gets banned?
It's connect both, I think. But yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I think actually I had immediately forgotten about the free Nano Management Nebula decks. I think it does. Basically, that's where it's seeing play right now.
Yeah, and
we're not seeing the sort of the old school get to 5 and then fast advance out your last 3 points with this. We haven't seen combo OB yet, but I guess if that re-shows its face, then it's important for that archetype, because there's not really another card that does that apart from I guess you can do it with Bass.
I have no comments on the matter.
Yeah, and like you have to give the card the bit of history. Like, Batic Labor used to be like the best fast advance tool ever.
Yeah.
To be fair, this is the best fast advance tool in standard.
I mean, yeah, but because of they fucked up with one thing, so.
I mean, like, even if Nebula gets banned, it's the best fast advance. Just that you wouldn't want to.
Oh, I guess, yeah. After the Nebula gets banned, it's like, oh no, cloth reprint, fast advance still really bad from Jai's bingo sheet.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I just thought this was going to be an absolute fast advance meta, because there's no clot, and there seems to be about 10 gajillion ways which NSG have printed in this set alone to kind of do a fast advance game plan, and yet no, it's grinder assets and Nebula, which I guess is the fast advance tank.
The best meta ever. And so we kind of have to like decide: are we putting it in its actual placement, which would be B, right? Or with the Nebula support where it's A?
Well, I think with Nebula it's S, right?
Really?
I mean, I'm going to put Nebula in S. I don't know if you.
Nebula is S for sure. Okay, spoilers, but nobody listen.
Yeah.
The least hot take.
I think you'll be surprised if any of us argue against that one.
I would put this in A here for. Like,
just stick it in A.
Okay,
stick it in A, and then if Nebula gets banned before we do a like reshuffle, then we can move things.
Yeah, 100%.
The next one's very easy, right? We don't need to talk about that one too much.
Yeah, probably. So top-down solutions. Draw 2, install 2. Cards does nothing. It's literally wasting clicks. Like just play red level clearance, right?
This is an absolutely busted card, and you all need to get on board.
The fuck?
Like,
come on. No.
Top that. This has been one of the cards which I've played the most since the set came out. The first deck that I put together.
Stuff with it?
Yeah. The
What
first deck.
What
if
you draw into 2 agendas and don't want to install anything? It's wasting like everything, right?
Hold up, that's exactly what you. This is so. My answer would be, why are you drawing into cards that you're not wanting to play, bruv? Because that's exactly what you said about humanoid resources, right? Like,
talk me through what you're doing with this. Is this just value?
Okay, so the first deck which I built, which was the only corp deck which I played for like the first couple of weeks since the set came out, was basically core damage PD, but with 3 copies of top-down solutions. Because the things that you can do with this are absolutely bonkers.
Installing 2 cards is bonkers now. In what world?
Okay, so firstly, you can fast advance 5 frees with this off the back of an auto fire. So that's how I've been scoring out salvo testings. Like you install the salvo testing and the wage workers, and then you've got enough clicks to just score out salvo testing.
Doing
Perfect.
3-card combos that require us to fire an auto on the exact turn.
Hype.
Yeah.
No,
why not?
Because
it's not the only way I've got to fire them at. Right, then you've got the joys of like installing. I'm playing PD, but I still get that ASA trigger of installing an agenda and a Jupstad grid and scoring the agenda and doing an extra core damage, all in one turn. But I still get to do that out of PD, which means that I get my recursion and I get the sort of the 6 hand size, which is actually really important for that deck. I feel.
This is like specifically with the 2-1 that you're doing this with?
Yeah, or with if you've already got a bit of core damage, then obviously you can do it with a whatever.
But at that point, you don't need the troop stuff, right?
Yeah.
No, you still do it. Why would you still do it?
Because but like you won the game already.
If you accidentally put top-down solutions and you have it in your hand at that moment, then yeah, you would play it, but it would be better if it wasn't in your hand, right?
No, because it's still a draw. Draw 2 cards, install 2 cards. So you can also just like score out whilst protecting like centrals. This card, like, and then there's like actual winning lines where you can, let's say you've already got like two. If you've already scored a salvo on a Gypstad, you can win next turn by top-down solutions in 2 ontologicals onto the board. One of them on the Gypstad, which you score, and then they're on 4 core damage, and you immediately score the other one. Now, these are all like quite bizarre situations, but the stuff that you can do with this card is really, really nuts. As long as you like build around it.
We'll keep this card in D tier so that it's even more.
It's not a D tier card.
Okay,
like,
I can give you like C tier for sure. But you're still paying 2 credits for the this thing, which is like worse shipment from Mirror Morph.
That's the only issue with it. It's like if it costs 1 credit, then it would be like, I feel like it would be actually really, really busted.
Yeah.
It's 2 credits. It does feel expensive, but it's
expensive for a card
it
that
enables.
Like, you just play red level clearance over this, right?
No, because you can't install agendas with red level clearance. And that's a big difference. Like being able to like install an agenda and a powers at B, and then score out the agenda and get your powers at B trigger, all that kind of stuff. Like there are nonsense plays that you can do with this card.
I just think history has shown that shipment from Mirror Morph was not a good like general card, right? You just played it with broken combos.
I don't think anything you've said so far is a broken combo.
Yeah, exactly. And this just doesn't fit. Like, all your core damage PD lines are cute and cool, but they're not going to beat anybody. Like, how do I say this not mean?
No, just say it mean. Go on.
No.
I can take it.
Okay. How do you beat anybody good with this?
I mean, this card, there's some busted things you can do with it. The fact that like all the cards in the past that had this kind of text never said agenda. They always had a non-agenda clause on them.
Also, you literally can do this with red level clearance. You just like take the clickback, install the wedge workers.
Yeah, but you can't
lock and draw into your cards.
You still don't have enough clicks.
I mean, you objectively can do the jupe stat trick with it.
Yeah,
but...
you could technically do it with an RLC. With jupe stat one. I don't think you can do. Maybe I need to like do a bit of click counting, but I don't think you can do the wage workers salvo score.
What?
Maybe I'm wrong.
You have 4 clicks.
It's exactly the same as this card.
Maybe I'm wrong then. All right. Well, then I should just be playing ROC then.
I think so. If you just want to do the broken combo things, but like, I can give you a C tier. To be fair.
No, I'll let you put it wherever you want. But I think this card is. Augustus. I think this card will end up in some broken deck. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's like Nebula tier broken, where somebody fucked up at some point and like printed a broken combo.
Like, if you're not putting this card in D tier, what card of the set are you putting in D tier?
Go on, put it in D tier.
Fair.
I want it to be in D tier because then when the like world's winning deck has top-down solutions and no humanoid resources, then I'll feel really good about myself.
I'll treat you to a fucking steak dinner if that happens.
Crazy.
Okay, so this is going for our first D tier candidate, the winner of the set. And the card that goes right next to it, Mercia Ballard. When your action phase ends, you may install 1 piece of ice from HQ, paying 1 less. If you do, move this upgrade to the root of the server. Like, what the fuck does this do?
Well, it's just a Leo card.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Like, it's literally a Leo card. Who the fuck cares, except Leo players?
I mean, for the record, it's a very good Leo card. Like,
I mean, yeah, it could literally be a blank card and Leo. It would be a good Leo card.
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't Like you would just be playing Anoetic if that was
Okay,
the case. But
yeah,
it does
fair,
give
but like,
you a bunch of clicks.
yeah, like I just don't get this one.
I mean, I get it. I just wish there was 2 of her instead of just or 6 of her instead of just 3.
I mean, yeah, in Leo, but like
Like-
outside of Leo, people are just playing this in like Drake decks and calling it good somehow.
Well, that part is silly, but we can just put it in B tier.
Hey, Bob will actually come for the defense, right?
I don't know. Like, I've played against a couple of decks with this, and it has felt like I should probably go and trash it. It feels a little bit like Vovo, you know, like you want to kind of go and deal with it before they get too much value. But the decks which I've seen it in haven't really been rich enough that I'm like, well, go ahead and install your another piece of ice for, you know, you might be getting it for a credit less, but it's still going to cost you like 3 credits to install it, and I'm probably breaking all your ice pretty cheap anyway. Yeah, I'm unsure. Like I feel like it might be a card which maybe sneaks its way in some things, but the deck which I could most see kind of playing it in the moment would be something like Nebula, and Nebula doesn't really want to spend influence on this, you know? It would be one of those decks which is just like, I'm going to like ice up centrals, and then because I can just install an ice kind of for free.
No, not for free.
Clicklessly.
1 credit less.
1 credit less, but you know, clicklessly.
I mean, but
so you're saving a click, you're saving a credit. That's enough of a saving to kind of make it reasonable. So I could like
face ends means that you don't have scoring window anymore, right? So you can't do any shenanigans there.
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Also, yeah, being at the end of the discard phase is kind of cringe when you could like do Asa things otherwise.
Yeah, it would probably be good in Asa. And that's about it, really. Like,
yeah.
If not even Buzz,
are we down for the hot take, putting it in D tier, just to get people mad?
Yeah.
Well, you have to move Leo down as well for doing that, which that would get people real mad.
Okay, fair.
No, I don't think she like. I don't think Leo. I don't think you move Leo down just because this card isn't good. Like, there are other Byroids that you play.
Yeah, Isaac Libertade is better than this.
Like Boommy? You're playing Boommy over Mercia? Is that where we're at in the world?
Well, no, you're playing both of them, aren't you? Like...
Okay, just because Leo exists, it gets a C tier placement.
Okay. Seems unprincipled to me, but I'm not going to fight it.
Unprincipled?
Like if this card and Leo are going to be together in every single deck that either of them ever is in, then they should be in the same tier.
No, because Leo is the thing you actually want to play, and Marcia is the card you have to play because you're playing Leo. Like, one is pushing the other one.
I more see it as like you get to play Mercia because you're playing Leo. Like it's a boon that you can put Mercia in your deck and be happy about it.
No, I think Leo has the actual text on it, and Mercia is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Mercia is basically Mercia is like Yoshi in like Super Mario World, right? Like the minute you're gonna kill it just so that you can get ahead. Like,
sure. I can claim the high ground and say that I'm with the Leo believers here. I don't think that's bad.
You wanted to put it in B tier, brother.
Yeah, but y'all wanted to put it lower, so I have the high ground. Wow.
Right, let's move on. We've got eggs to talk about.
Yeah.
Eggs.
So, Alcoa. Saying it correctly, not saying Oko. Whenever you do a damage or trash one card from HQ, place 1 power counter on this, and when your turn begins, remove 2, and look at top 3 cards, trash 1, draw the rest of the 2 cards.
This is like slightly worse than Nebula, but about as close, I think.
Yeah.
This is
gonna
take. Yeah, it's gonna like take the fight for which is the best ID in the set, and some people are going to be Alcoa believers, and some people are going to be Nebula believers, and it will go one way or other.
For what it's worth, I can't imagine seeing Alcoa banned. That seems...
Yeah, like this is the other half of the fast advance or asset grinder. Like the parallel.
Yeah, and this really is grinder. And NSG took away PE, which made a load of UK players really happy because they finally rotated it, and then they've managed to make an ID which has made PE but better without it be
in
like.
Alcoa's defense, I've built a lot of Alcoa decks that aren't horrible grinder stuff. That's
Yeah, and
just
those
people
are actually
wanting to
kind
play
of
grinder
cool,
because they're
but
grinding.
they're pretty not competitive, I think.
Disagree.
Agree to disagree then. Like, yeah, I think we can surely just put it in S tier and be happy with that.
Sure. S tier X.
Yeah. Like if you're building a runner deck right now, if you're building a runner deck right now, you have to have a way of dealing with Alco. So like it's an S tier deck. You know, it's the first thing that you're thinking of.
Yeah,
one of two decks that you're thinking of.
For sure. Then the more fun ID, PT UTAN? Untayan, okay, that works better. Whenever discard phase ends, again with the discard phase, if there's 3 or fewer cards in HQ, you may pay 1 to put 1 advancement counter on the rest card you can advance.
Wait, you have to pay?
Yeah.
Ah, shit, this is worse than I thought it was. I need to read these cards.
Where would have you put it with the non-pay one?
You've had some fun with this, Auggy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if Alcoa got banned, this would probably be the best Ginteki ID generically. Mm-hmm. But like with Alcoa there, you kind of have to wonder why you're jumping through all these hoops instead of just playing the OP stuff.
Because you want to play the fun mid-range P like Ginteki deck.
Yeah, I think this is like good enough as like a Ginteki rush plan, and it has some really nasty stuff that you can put it in A tier if you want. But like the cost of playing cool rush decks is high enough that maybe it's not actually an A tier card in context. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a funny one. Like playing with only, like purposely playing with 3 cards in hand, depending on sort of what your game plan is sometimes just a little bit sketchy, especially with cards like Copulation flying around everywhere and Big T playing jailbreaks all of a sudden again and this kind of thing. So I'm unsure, but I've seen these decks go very fast. I've seen them, they really can zip out very quickly if they're left untapped. So if you're in a kind of meta where you think that you'll be able to challenge runners in that way, then it's probably you've got a very good shot with it.
Yeah, I think it's like what I have played of it, it feels like it's really variance heavy.
Yeah,
where you either like
accurate.
Draw your stuff you want to jam, and you get to like do broken stuff in the remote really early, or you like don't really get there often when you like get bit suboptimal draws. And
then it's very variance dependent on whether or not the runner finds a Carmen to break your Size and Dons. Like, just that's going to be most Ginteki decks, I imagine. But,
yeah.
Like otherwise, your ice kind of sucks against current run econ.
But I do think it is going to be a competitive deck, if not now, at some point. I think it has the like rushy Ginteki feel, but like it kind of will hold that spot for a long time.
Yeah, looking at it near to side by side with Alco seems like it's reasonable enough. Like both of them are good, except they have a better ID that you would rather be playing in PT or Alco. So,
yeah, I think it's A is probably fair.
Sure.
What do you-
I feel like it's a bit too risky for A. I feel like it's a B tier, and it will do really well, but...
Okay, I might be just loving the card because it's like my favorite archetype.
Yeah. It's just PD, but in red.
I mean, yeah. Do I have to kill my child and put it in B?
I think A or B are both responsible if you want to claim that you running the stream gives you an edge. Well, to put it in A.
I don't want to do that, so Bar gets to decide, I guess.
Stick it in B. I think there'll be. I think people will be too hyped on playing Alco for it to materialize yet. Maybe if stuff happens with Alco or we get other cards in the future, or there's maybe it needs more ways of like getting rid of cards from HQ.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
maybe this is the deck which needs to play Bird Barbecue. You know, like it's something like that. It probably just needs to work out the cards which it should be playing, and
also like you get like a second Hanse review and like one more Charlotte or like an advanceable thing, and I think you're cooking, but like it maybe just doesn't get there right yet.
Yeah.
They conveniently put both of the agendas that PTU plays immediately after, so they basically just get lumped in, yeah.
Both of that? Okay, come on. I can put one of them in there, and I don't think you even play this one. But Nissi Mark III, I think I have different ideas for.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a reason that you think it's better, or you think it's worse?
Surely it's better. It's Nissi Mark II used to be like the reason you play Glacier Ginteki, and I think this card holds exactly down the same fort.
Yeah, but what, like, are you thinking RH isn't any legs over PTU?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think RH Glacier is going to be a rail deck, and this, like, in the future, Ginteki Glacier will be a good deck at some point, and this card will be a carrying force in that deck.
We're talking about the 4-2, right? Are we talking about the 4-2?
Yeah, 4-2.
Okay, right, fine, because you've moved the 3-2 up.
I wanted to get ahead of myself.
Yeah, that's what we're just putting there, because it's literally the same thing as Project Ingotan.
Yeah, okay, that's absolutely fair. Yeah, I mean, this... I think the one issue is that I'm playing a lot of deep dive right now, and this card is not very good at stopping deep dives. It's like it can be completely played around where it has no effects whatsoever.
It does force you to break HQ or RNG twice, though, right? But
yeah.
I guess if you're preserving all the ice there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay.
I guess so. Like, but if you can go through their ice once, then you can probably go through it twice.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I think Nissi Mark II, like, but there are certain benefits of having the run go on archives. Like, if you have an actual ice on archives that they have to break.
Yeah, but it has to be rezzed as well, right?
Yeah,
like
how are you res it immediately, right? Obviously, that costs you money. But...
Yeah, it doesn't have to be actually rezzed because they approach or what the fuck? They move outermost. Yeah, I think they have to keep running. I think because they move outermost, and it's the outermost ice, so they cannot check out.
So yeah, so if you had like an anemone on archives, then I could see this actually being like pretty mean.
I think power level wise, this goes in A. It's just like in context, I don't see why you would put this in an Alco deck. And
yeah, exactly. It's like raw power level. Like if you had Nissi Mark II, you surely would put that in A tier, right?
I don't know. I saw too many Ag Infusions.
Brother, you're the Eternal player. Of course you... Okay, you're a Zoomer also, so...
Like, if I had Ag Infusion, I would be playing that over Alco, and then I would play Nissi, but that's just old meta, obviously.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Like, surely the power level has to be A tier, right?
Oh yeah, I can get behind putting it in B tier. Even though it's not that much better than PTU or Alcoa in a vacuum, but it's a bit more. So if those are borderline, we can put this above.
Yeah. Okay, then do we actually want to discuss the sericulture expansion? Defense 1, and you put one thing to put two counters.
Interestingly, I think I might vote it better than Project Ingotan somehow.
It's better than a blank 3-2, yes. It's still close to a blank 3-2.
There's some really nasty stuff you can do with it, but I don't know how much of it is secret tech that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Is there?
I don't know. Have people been doing anything with Sericulture? Anyway.
I have not been paying attention in the Brewing Dex channel for a while. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 for too much.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know. There's no amount of secret tech could possibly put this above B tier. So
yeah, it's mostly a blank 3-2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can go talk about binder cards next, maybe.
Don't start. I'm not putting it in binder. So it's snare 2. It's literally the new snare text. I think the one from the core set used to have the tag and net damage switch around.
Yeah, it bothers me that the spacing doesn't look the same as snare, but yeah, the text is the same.
Yeah. Another big
card? I've never been high on snare. I wouldn't put it in D tier probably because it can go in Dex, but it's not better than C tier surely.
Come huh?
I think it's a card which you have to play around, and thus, yeah, it's definitely not a D tier card. I think it could be there's a chance that it's B tier. People are gonna. The problem with snare, it's the same problem that you always have with snare. Is the people that lose to snare are when you know,
just say it. Just say it.
Yeah, when you accidentally bumble into one, or you run into one out of HB, or anything along those lines. The one thing is that right now, there's runners are really good at pressuring centrals, and there's not much to kind of stop them pressuring centrals, and something like snare might actually be something that does that.
If you're answering to pressuring centrals is to go -4 credits, I don't know that that's a very good plan on your part.
If it wins you the game, I'll pay 4 credits.
Yeah, but if it doesn't, you just cry, right?
Yeah, when you're below 3 because you want to get your Bladderwort value on the remote and stuff.
I don't know, I just remember people playing exactly one snare in PE and even that being questionable, and I don't know why it would be any different now.
Because it's historical and I hate zoomers. I guess that's the real thing.
That justifies a B tier for you?
Yeah, no, it just goes in C tier, and we
guess, but snare has just such a long history of being a good PE card, right? Okay, PE rotated.
I don't think it was PE's best card.
Yeah, no. No, I guess snare has been kind of dog shit for a while.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Sting than I am about snare. You know, it's a card that you've got to be aware of. You're gonna.
The tag doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, can we put it in C, but give it a ribbon for a legacy shoutout?
Oh, sure. If you can do the editing to make that happen, we'll endorse it.
I don't have that kind of editing chops, live broadcast. Just imagine a ribbon on Byte.
Are you using OBS? Can I hook you up with some images, maybe?
Oh, that could work.
Okay, give me a moment. We can continue talking about next card. Surprise might actually sound like a hot take.
Yeah, Fat Gyeon Bog. Yeah. FOT,
great
basically.
work.
Whenever discard phase ends, again, discard phase, place 1 power counter on this asset, and every time, first time each turn, asset agenda is scored or stolen, you may remove up to 2 cards and do 1 plus the amount of counters you removed as net damage.
This is actually a kind of scary card. This is the most like must trash Ginteki asset that we've seen since what's her face, Keeling, and it kind of has a similar feel to Keeling, although it won't just straight up kill you. So it feels slightly fairer than Keeling, but
also like you have to put it face up immediately for it to be a must trash asset, right? So
yeah,
but you do have to trash it. That is not optional, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And otherwise, all kinds of bad things are going to happen. Like no one's actually done the maths on how much damage you take if like you steal or score a sting when there's counters on this, because that kind of maths is like past any human being's like capabilities to calculate. But yeah, this is a nasty little card, and like again, this is like they made Alco, which had the thing which PE kind of always lacked, the kind of tempo that PE did, and then they just made PE a card, and actually it's just as scary as playing against PE if there might be a FUT on the board somewhere, especially if it's already rezzed and you can't, and you know it's behind what's probably an enemy.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
I don't think this goes to SD probably, because
yeah, I don't.
If you just like res it and then they trash it, it's a fine exchange for you.
Yeah,
but I think it's an A tier card.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like the Ginteki asset decks just love this card. It's like a must trash, which we are lacking a lot currently in asset decks, which helps a lot. And then it also pressures the exact resource you kind of need to pressure out in the asset deck.
Yeah, and it's not cheap, right? It's free. It's free credits to trash if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it escapes the NSG curse of being 2 to trash.
Yeah, which is like, you know, like if this was a few years ago, then that would be like child's play. But right now, that feels like an amount which is significant enough.
Yeah, big time. So solid Aether.
Yeah.
Next, we get to talk about bad Ginteki eyes.
Okay, so Empiricist. 7 to res, 5 strength, draw 1, put 1 on top of R&D, do 1 net, give 1 tag, do 2 net.
Just
pretty bad. Yeah, this is not great.
Like, the fact that Cloud Eater is unique, so you kind of have a reason to play, like, one of these maybe in Glacier. Possibly saves it from D tier, but even then, maybe you just don't play if it's a 6th Century or whatever.
Like, also, Sentry Breakers are good, right? Like, or are the decent breakers right now. People are running around with revolvers and Carmens and things like that, or like 5 strength echelons.
I might low-key play Karuna over this, actually.
Yeah. Like, it's tough. Yeah, basically. It also gets the award for the, like, Axe card at home of the set. Last time we had Athene for DNA Tracker, and this for Anansi. Like,
I see what you're saying.
It's so much worse, right?
Yeah. That's a
good point. I would also way rather play Athene than this.
Yeah, and right now I'd be playing Athene over this. I'd be playing all the like nasty, you know, Vampira Nasa over this.
Athene, everything else except this.
And then, like, you know, Sai Sentan is probably enough for your, you know, like good enough for your sentries. You're probably playing anemones based on if you're playing like Alcoa or anything like that. So yeah, it probably sees some play in like RH Glacier. But
yeah, but that's literally because you don't have anything else at that point.
Yeah, totally.
So it's probably pretty safe, right? D tier.
Yeah,
we can put it down there. It's also got bad art. Sorry to the artist, I just don't like this one.
I think it's definitely like fine.
Yeah, bad art was an overextension, but
it's like modern bad art, which is still like great art,
Basically, someone said it looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and now
yeah,
I can't
I had the same one.
unsee that, and so like that's what I see when I see it.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't.
Also, comparatively to the cards around it, both Fat and Mako Whip have great art, right? So
yeah,
that makes it look a bit worse.
Speaking of Mako Web, 8 to res code gate, 5 strength, with 4 subroutines, of which how many are relevant?
I mean, on turn 1-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, so install 1 piece of ice from archives. Cute, cool, nice.
You can't even do HQ?
No.
That's crazy.
It's the worst ice to res on turn 1. You may res 1 piece of installed ice, paying 2 less. Fine, cute, nice. Resolve 1 subroutine on sentry. Resolve 1 subroutine on code gate.
We can put it next to Boommy because this is probably fine in a Leo deck, and like getting to play a 5-strength code gate is a pretty big boon if you can manage to make these.
Leo deck like put the Pierrots back.
Yeah,
and like the fact that you can res a Boommy somewhere else and then resolve a Boommy trash, or at least threaten to do that if you have any face down ice, means that even if you don't have that, they kind of have to break this.
Yeah.
It makes it relevant. It's like, I don't know. It's still, you're still paying influence for it in Leo, and it still does nothing sometimes.
Yeah. Also, as an player, I hate this card so much.
I feel like this card is either gonna see play in Ginteki decks, which is scoring out the 5/2.
Over Vampronasa or Attini?
I mean, they're probably playing one of it. Like, if you're on Sisyphus Protocol, then you're just like chucking in whatever disgusting ice you can find.
No,
really,
but
and this is.
You play 3 Vampronasa, I think, over this. You play 3 Attini over this.
I mean,
do you?
Yeah, but in the late game, realistically, this potentially hits harder than a Vampirinasa.
So, like, it only has 2 subroutines, right? So like.
Yeah, but
kinda?
they're like, you get to pick and choose those subroutines, which means that that's why I'm saying this is purely like a late game ice. So like it's going to be rare that this is like more than a one of in
but
any
like,
good deck.
When you get the Sisyphus corp. Sorry, can you say that again?
You gave a ribbon to Mercia now because she's also great. It's appreciated.
Yeah, I think that's fine. We can stick it in C.
C is probably fine. Then a good Ginteki barrier, Semoxamoon, 3 credit, cannot be broken by anything except a fractal. End the run unless you suffer 3 net damage. Noticeably, runner suffers so you don't trigger Alcoa from it, and it's a 3 to res 3 strength barrier.
I don't like this too much. I think I would rather play Photo than this in most situations. But I guess in Asset, if you're like spamming this out and you somehow have space for a bunch of ice, you could.
Yeah, like Alcoa, this is like bullshit to break.
I was going to say I like this a lot. I think that this sees play instead of Tattoo Bowler. Certainly in decks. No, hold up. In decks with like low ice numbers, like you used to play Tattoo Bowler in the like in the decks with only sort of 6 or 9 ice,
Mhm.
just because it was because you needed to put up a barrier of some kind in, some kind of end run. This is a way better end run if you're only playing sort of a few ice and you're not necessarily going to be able to do the sort of tattoo bola swapping, and it's actually pretty taxing.
Mhm.
And it can't really be cheated out around in any way other than like Bankar, and it needs to be on the outside for Bankar to be a thing. And if this is in your deck, then you probably care about net damage anyway. So
it's a really bad PTU card. That was my experience and why I was low on it. But yeah, in Alcoa or in low ice decks, this is probably. I don't know that I want to put it higher than B tier, but I could be convinced.
I think
it's definitely
it's good enough to go into the Alcoa deck, and in there it's really frustrating. Like barrier breakers are kind of bad right now. If you didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, a rising type does get to 3 strength eventually.
Yeah, if you play eventually, and like Principia, which is good, breaks this for 3 every time. The pressure spike breaks this for 3 every time. Kurpira breaks this for 3 every time. Like the numbers are kind of frustrating for real.
I think it's really solid. And like if it was any other ice, you'd just stick a Botulus on it and you wouldn't care. And
yeah,
that's why I like it, because it's like, well, you can't. Like you could put a Botulus and a Hush on it. But by that point you're kind of really
overcommitted,
yeah, you've kind of committed probably a fair bit too much to a free cost barrier.
Yeah, so much of the modern game, I think, is trying to cheat through like ice, and this just completely stops it. It's not even like Hammer, where it can like break the one relevant subroutine, float a tag, let the opponent rush like a program you don't have. But like this, you just literally cannot do anything about.
I mean, you can take 3 damage.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
That's why it's bad in PTU, because in PTU they just take the damage.
Yeah, in PTU especially, definitely. But like assets and kind of like anything that's not rush, I think this is really solid in. You maybe don't have slots in the Glacier even though.
Well, in Glacier you really like Boto, right? Because it's like
you like Boto. You play like Tattoo Bolas. You have like 6 barriers already.
But you might play one of these. You're like really worried about Botulus.
You might.
I mean, I was playing some of these in my Nebula deck, and I liked them in there because it forced out a barrier breaker. It was good enough to do that.
Oh, it's 1 influence?
Yeah, 1 influence.
Yeah. So
I think this might be like I'd argue for this being an A tier card, but I'll see what you think about it.
I think it's definitely A tier.
Alright, that's fine with me.
Also, Scott Aminga art, so it gets like a perk from that.
Next card, I've been surprised myself by not putting it in decks. I don't know if that's common experience.
Next card, Peer View, 4 credits plus 3 credits, but you have to reveal everything except 1 card from HQ. And you get to install a card into root of a remote server.
Actually, I know what happened with this deck. This card, I think I was really high on it until we saw Petty Cash. And then we saw Petty Cash, and I don't know why you would play this over Petty Cash.
Yeah, I remember me and Augustus played like a testing game before all the cards were out, where I was playing like Nebula, and we put Peer View in there as like a cheaper Greens in the Palm. And kind of like straight day after that, Petty Cash came out, and I was like, yeah, never mind, I'm not playing this.
Yeah. I mean,
functionally, this is just a D tier card because you don't have any reasons to put it in it.
I mean, it's still 3 credits and an install. Like, people played Grease the Palm like raw.
Yeah, until Petty Cash got spoiled, and then they're not playing Greasy anymore. There was I think Cold Lava thought you still did, but I don't.
I mean, like, Alcoa might play this, right?
But like if it didn't say reveal your hand, you would maybe think about it. But it does say that.
Okay, do you play Hedge Fund in your Alcoa deck?
I mean, mine yes, because they're not horrible grinder. But
Okay.
I think if you're doing Bladderwort stuff, you don't.
Fair, maybe.
But then you also don't play this. Also, like, Ginteki has hand save review plus petty cash, which is even better than like
Yeah, fair.
just being
Like-
a hedge fund. So like, there's 9 cards I would like 9 econ operations I would put in my deck before this, and I don't know what deck has space for 12 econ that are operations.
It's fucked up that Ginteki has so many econ operations. Or econ
I mean,
they
Ginteki
always
doesn't feel
have.
that
They
rich.
just- Yeah, they've just never had.
Okay, yeah.
Until Hands Eye Review came along, they just didn't have any good ones like that you really wanted to play. You just had to. You had to play Celebrity Gift for a long time because it was like basically all you had.
Yeah, really.
Also,
obvious.
not technically an operation, but they also have Beanstalk Royalties coming up next, which you might also play over peer review in
Yeah.
relevant decks.
C tier?
I think it's D.
Yeah,
like-
I think if it was in another faction, maybe C tier, but in Ginteki there literally isn't a reason to play it ever.
I was
Vibes?
excited to play this in Plutus decks until they released Petty Cash. Basically, Petty Cash kind of wiped out. They put in all of these kind of interesting transactions which do like fun things, and then they printed a neutral card which just does the fun things better. And you don't even have to have it in your hand, and it's just like, yeah, and so it just doesn't really make sense to play
For
it.
what it's worth, if you're playing a Plutus deck, you probably should be playing this card, even though like you just want more Plutus cards, right? The fact that I want to
Yeah.
put this in D tier maybe gives you a sense of my hot takes on Plutus. I'm not revealing exactly what they are yet.
I guess D tier is fine then.
Yeah,
Then-
stick it down there. Go on.
Next one. The
You're
snare
gonna have
bells,
to explain this
the
one to
most
me, I
scared
still
card
don't
of the set award goes to the Myithraman. Whenever runner approaches a piece of ice protecting this server, you may trash this upgrade. If you do, gain 3 credits, and swap the ice being approached with different ice from Archives or HQ.
Okay, but talk me through this being the scariest card, because isn't
Snare
like
bells, like on the Discont podcast, like snare bells were dooming on this card hella much.
sure, but like okay, like imagine a situation where you
Yeah.
are playing against Ginteki.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of face down ice,
Mhm.
and you haven't run any of it because it could be a Seissenton that kills you,
Yeah.
right? And so like all ice is equally scary, regardless of whether there's a Myithraman behind it or not.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be Seissenton. And if you have already ran ice, then Mitra would be relevant to switch some of that ice out.
Mhm.
You're like past the point of being scared of Seissenton because you found some answer to it, right? I don't. Am I making sense?
You are.
Sure. This is like specifically boomerang tech. It's fine boomerang tech, I suppose.
I mean, it's boomerang
Um,
tech, it's Mosulus
perfect job.
tech, it's like a lot of things tech. And it still makes you have to be worried, like you can still get like a scary code gate or something under there. It's like baseline 3 credits, which is fine.
Like, wait, am I like you have like a rest Simac or whatever about like a barrier that you've rest previously that I bounced off.
You have like Tattoo Bola, card that puts like Tattoo Bola that gets switched back to hand, and you like flip that.
What?
Hmm?
But you've already installed the scary ice, so this is just an easy mark in that world. Or you're saying you reinstall a Tattoo Bola and then res it again? And this is like a hand save review that you had to work really hard for. And also you had to let them through because you had to let them break Tattoo Bola.
You're making solid points here, and I don't like it.
Like there will for sure be like Boomerang is a good enough card and Mosulus is a good enough card that you put this in decks. I'm not like saying that this is unplayable, but I'm not sure why you would think this is anything other than just a tech card that might be relevant in some metas, right?
to be fair, I didn't say it's the scary card of the set.
Sure.
I can push the blame here. And totally take out of context everybody else.
Basically, I think snare bears are all scared of this because it's the kind of card which fun, jank-loving, like deck builders love. They love the like it's the kind of card that I love. I just don't understand it yet, so I have no idea what to do with it. So like I haven't kind of played around with it, and it's not on my top list of things to try, but someone, like one of QTM is probably going to break something with this card. And
wait, I have a combo. Okay, you're ready to do this?
Is it just an enemy? Because if it's just an enemy, we all know it. No. We all know the enemy.
You're playing a tail, right? And you. Okay, this maybe doesn't. Well, whatever. You're like there. You just have some like anemone or that you've had that you used before. Some ice you don't care about.
Yeah.
And then, or it could be face down. It could be face down. Then you use Myithraman to put in a ping. Boom.
Yeah.
And then you use a Taya to install a B1001.
Yeah.
Boom combo. Figured. Okay, we can put this in B tier because it trashes Boomerang.
Yeah, I think it's solid B tier. Also, I was going to say, like, based on the snare bear comment, like, while I was in Germany, somebody there said, like, snare bears are just afraid of ice, so they like doomer about every single card that does like ice stuff.
Maybe that's it. But I think it's just that it's a card which is going to win some games because people are not gonna be. Everyone, like when it was first released, was like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to be careful with this." But immediately, I'm like, "I'm not. I've blanked this from my mind. I'm running iced servers with a face down card in it without thinking, oh, this might not be the ice switch. I think it is." But I kind of do anyway, so yeah, people are going to get blown out by it. It's going to win some games. Yeah. I think it's fine.
So you want to put bite up more because that's exactly the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's like a 7 credit difference between Mitra and Bite.
Yeah, probably. Exactly. So, we cut this. And I already put Nebula up there.
Yeah.
It has a lot of text. You might want to just assume people know what it's
about. I think everybody already knows.
It's the big one. Not like the thing that baffles me is that it gives you a credit. And also that it doesn't flip back when you use it. So you can just like keep threatening it. Ridiculous card.
Yeah, this feels like it got just a little bit juiced. Like, I don't think it probably needed to have the additional credit. That feels like a little bit of a bonus that probably wasn't necessary.
Yeah. If it was like genuinely like Hoshiko, where you would like flip to the front, get a credit, flip to the back, get a click, then have to flip again.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Like, you could let them get 1 score and then they have to flip back again and get some time. But no, they can just keep going. It's silly. Like, most of my running deck has been like very worth play this card to the point where I rated maintenance access pretty high last time.
Yeah, just because of this card. Like, this is legit kind of warping. It lets you just play this like extremely cringe game plan where you just don't do anything except like ice centrals, and then you fast advance with like toxic cards.
What, like nano management?
I mean, like you nano management into 3 points.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you get +2 hand size, so your Piranha cannot be gotten through easily.
But the one thing I'm sad about is if this is slightly too strong and it gets banned, because I mean everyone's already talking about it, but they're not going to insta ban an ID. They'll let things happen, and I think probably once people work out the play patterns, everything will calm down a little bit on Nebula. Like,
Yeah, I
I've
think
not found it
this
quite as
probably
oppressive.
will also be metagamed out of the meta. Basically, I think everybody will be packing like plain criminal with like 2 maintenance accesses and like 2 twinning and 3 chesses. And you probably just can't beat those
doesn't
decks.
actually have a favorable matchup into Nebula. It's like
Doesn't it?
maybe a 55 for you as crew. It's not silly.
But the one thing that I'm sad about is if that happens, I actually think this is quite a well designed ID, other than it just being maybe a bit too strong. This is for the first time. This is, or not for the first time, but like this is what we kind of always are looking for. I feel like this is an ID which forces interaction. So many kind of IDs, but the most toxic ones are the ones where it just says like you shouldn't interact. Things like, when you end up playing like advanceable ice Earth Station or something along those lines, where you're just like, no, I can't run. Like it's a terrible idea for me to run. I just need to kind of build up my resources and wait for a thing. This says like, no, you need to run like every single turn, or I'm gonna do like broken ass stuff. Now, whether it needed to be like all 3 centrals for it to flip back or something along those lines, so that because it does seem to be maybe a bit too easy to protect just HQ and R&D really, really well.
To be fair, Nebula seemed more alright when Petty Cash wasn't around, so like,
yeah, 100%.
It's also the supporting cards around it making it extra good.
I think
because like with Petty Cash, you don't pay anything to score.
Yeah, the issue I think also is getting a click back is probably too much. I just think I think the flip side should be something else powerful. Like getting credits, like that could be interesting, like a glacier wreck or something, where like play operation flip to get something else next turn, like all your something for the remote, for example, or something.
But then it's not a win con. What I like is that this is putting the pressure on, like, because it's saying, look, you need to interact or I'm gonna win because I have I
don't think an ID that says win the game. Should not do that, I think. And this just encourages really cringe game plans. Like, to be fair, like just icing up your central servers is so like not fun to play against. It also takes like 0 skill. Like, I think day 1 I played this ID and I was like, yep, this is fucked up. I played like a bad version of it and it still felt extremely fucked up. And like, then your opponent is like, yeah, I just like get ground out at some point and like GG's.
Well, I don't like dislike the back text. I think it could be interesting, but the numbers are definitely too good, so we're putting it in S tier, which is the
100%. And I think we
might talk about
argument for the next one.
The second one's the next one's the very opposite, right? We're putting it in D tier.
You really think so?
Wait, what's the next card?
Synapse Global.
Yeah, I've not seen a compelling reason to ever play Synapse instead of Epiphany, and that's not a very high bar.
No, surely like assets are good at some point. Like when Ares was around, this would be Epiphany is so ass compared to like this, I think.
Like, what part of Epiphany is bad compared to this? I don't get it. Like, you think you are giving them more tags than they're trashing assets? That doesn't track. And like installing tags from R&D seems way better than installing them from HQ.
I guess I might be looking at it too highly.
I agree with Augustus that I think Epiphany is better than Synapse, but I'm also an Epiphany believer, so there is that. I don't think this is D tier though. Like, if that's what you were saying, I think that there is just the fact that Oppo exists and can give 4 tags, and
It's the first time though.
And yeah, but it gives you one trigger. I don't know.
It gives you one trigger, but you can put something out that's meaningful on that first click, and then you are saying like, right, what are you going to clear the rest of those tags, or are you going to come and deal with whatever I've put out?
Why are you installing it with Synapse and not just having installed it on your turn?
Well, you're probably doing that as well, but you know,
your hand was 3 relevant cards to install and an Alpo.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, okay, I might have been like I've been like theory crafting this without actually like trying to build it and play it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess if Epiphany gets banned, this is maybe defensible compared to Pratovost, but like I might just play a Pratovost deck instead.
Okay, I hope that never happens. I kind of also hope that we just get like a good NBN asset ID at some point, so nobody is forced to play Epiphany or Bravost.
I don't know. I think Epiphany is like fine. I don't know. Like, the only reason Epiphany was bad before was because NEH was just strictly better. But
yeah, I kind of just hope we get an NEH back, to be fair.
Okay.
Right, should we move on?
Yeah, probably. I'll put it in C tier.
Next, we have a blank 3-2. We have lots of things to say about those.
I mean, sometimes you play Nano Management in Nebula and get like this on 2 counters and it's good.
My funniest interaction with this was I played against someone who hadn't drawn a single Oppo the entire game. Then they scored this with a counter, and they put an Oppo on top, and I installed Gourmand and trashed it. And then they put another Oppo on top, and I installed a second Gourmand and trashed it.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Yeah, literally blank 3-2, it's going to be there. I think we can skip this, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know what this does when you over advance it, so I'll wait until that's happened, and then I'll
you'll come back to
I'll
us.
have an opinion.
Okay, Donald, the ribbon on Byte is the Legacy Award for Snare, and Empiricist is the Axe Card at Home Award for not being Anansi.
Axe is a grinder maniac, unfortunately.
So, next big thing. The one good 5-3 we have left.
Yeah, this feels pretty good. This one.
Bellona it is not, but it's close.
Is it close to Bellona? No shot.
I'd say it's not, but
no, but it's very different. Like, I mean, it's a forward tempo as opposed to a backward tempo thing, right?
I mean, Bellona did also that though.
Well, Bellona reimbursed you for the credits which you put in.
Yeah,
like
so that's forward tempo, like exactly.
Kind of.
Like, would you ever play? Okay, there's a ranking where Bellona is on top, GFI is below that. Is next big thing below that, or do you play something else?
SSL probably. But
and like that was banned, doesn't count.
Yeah, and you've kind of got to bear in mind that re-education is a win con in itself.
I also, like, in an Asmari deck with Hydras, I would play Send a Message over this, I think.
Yeah, if like Ginteki or like Glacier and Bian is a thing, that's probably true.
Yeah, generically this is slightly better than Send a Message, which doesn't have me wanting to put this in A tier.
I feel like it kind of has to go in A tier. Like, every single NBN deck is going to play this, right?
Yeah, I also think this goes in A tier. When someone's clicked this against me, and more annoyingly, when they've clicked it out of my own score area against me, it feels not quite, because it's obviously not scoring a bacterial or stealing a bacterial, but it's got that kind of energy about it. And I mean, that was one hell of a sort of a rush. The fact that it can sort out your HQ as well at the same time, drawing cards, all of this, it's all a bit nutty to me.
The one thing I'm noticing is that, we put this in A tier, but the A tier cards are much, much worse than the S tier cards. There's like a big chasm in here. Which is, I mean, there's some really busted cards that got printed, so I guess that's somewhat understandable. But, like, none of the S tier cards have me really excited to build a deck around them. Like, Fat is the only one that's, like, really good. The others are kind of just meh.
Yeah. I think me and Bar
Yeah,
overruling Augustus and putting it in A tier.
Well, I'm also accepting that it's A
Okay.
tier. I'm just lowering my standards from what times A tier, looking at everything else was my comment.
Yeah. Next an ob card again. Idiosyncrasies. Advanceable asset. When your turn begins, you may trash this, and for each advancement, gain 3, runner loses 2. It's like the.
I thought this was going to be really good.
Why.
This does shit with the hearts and minds.
Okay, so your big combo for sticking notoriously must-trash card Hearts and Minds is +3 credits.
Yeah, but like sticking hearts and minds is easiest that it has ever been with the Pneuma virus.
Yeah, but you have to stick multiple Hearts and Minds to make this. Like, are you rezzing this and popping it immediately with Hearts and Minds?
Like for month, it's like a 9 credit swing.
9? Like so you've rest Cyber Sand and this for -3, and then you get them back, and the runner loses.
Yeah. No, like they lose 4.
Oh, because you have an advancement.
Yeah. That's like actually pretty scary swing, right?
Your big combo has been +3 -4, so 7 for like 2 cards.
+3.
And you get to install a spin doctor or something.
+5 -4.
You don't have to rest this. You have to. Yeah, you do have to rest this.
Yeah, that's +5.
But you also have to rest the Hearts and Minds.
Okay, I didn't count that one.
Anyway, it's fine. I don't know.
Like, I don't think it's great and everything. I think it's like one of an orb or something.
Yeah, you also have to put an advancement counter somewhere, which is not a 0 cost, right?
Yeah, you play wall to wall, so you get those for free.
But it's assets, so it's not actually free. Because you are going to have other stuff, right?
Are you?
I mean, sometimes
probably,
you'll have a wall to wall as your only asset, but only sometimes.
There is a world, like you play one of in ob, and it's going to be scary and like blow people up.
But you can also just play a humanoid in ob with 2 influence and as your Cyber Sand target, right?
As your Cyber Sand target? Humanoid? Oh, Cyber Sand Harvester. Yeah. Fair?
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk all you want about putting it in ob. This is essentially just a yellow mitosis card. Like,
okay, that I'm more on board with.
Oh no! Don't make people play Pravdavast even more.
Yeah, this is gonna end up in like, it would have been R+ back in the day, but like can't do that. So this will be like mitosis Prav with, you know, these. You've now got another really good thing to advance. This is better than your previous option because you gain a bit of money from it as well. Yeah, that's where it's going to end up. Like, and it'll probably be as annoying as hell there, and probably, I don't know, it might see like a tiny bit of. I just can't really. I thought it was good when I first saw it, and then when I realized that it was a like start of turn trigger thing, it really fell off for me outside of some kind of trap style deck.
Like you don't really want to go install advance with this. Like do like the NGO line, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't thought enough about Prad to confidently say, but this is like a reason to play Prad legitimately. Okay, so maybe this. But you have an awkward moment with traps, right? So I don't know. C tier's fine. I think I could have been talked up to B tier if someone had an actual trap deck in front of me.
I mean, I was going to put it in the C tier after like praising it in OB.
I think it's C tier.
Yeah, fair.
I think we can stick it there.
Then public access plaza. 1 credit, 2 to trash. When like pad campaign with threat to get a tag when you trash it.
You know, I didn't know. I thought this always gave you a tag, even at threat 0, and I still thought it was a bad card.
Really?
And then someone explained to me that threat 2, and I was like, why would you ever put this in the deck?
Because you don't have anything else. Like.
Okay, that's fair.
Is it better than pad campaign? It's better than pad campaign, right?
Yeah, but I would rather balanced.
You can play both, right? Like, I think
really?
This is insta-slot in ambient asset decks. But those just don't exist right now.
The big problem is that pad campaign on turn 1 is like hard to trash, but on turn 1 this is just like gets trashed, and you're very sad. And if the threat 2 text is active, then it's like a late pad campaign that's not.
I mean, like turn 2, it's not that sad to trash, or like turn 1, turn 2. Like you're not happy trashing it, right? It's still 2 credits.
Yeah, but like that's like usual asset shenanigans. Like we don't have as much money now, but I think you're still.
Yeah, but later on, this is like getting to threat 2 is like fine.
Like, how are you getting to threat 2?
Fun still is like a next big thing from your hand.
But then they just ignore it. Like, unless you're giving up a next big thing on turns on turn 3, and then you're very sad. Then your public access plaza happens to be slightly less sad. I'm not gonna say that this is a D tier card because it like is economy, which maybe you want.
No, like I actually think it's like a better than pad campaign. Like being 0 at round after res is like good, and when you like play it in mid game, it's not like it's harder to rush.
Yeah, but it's mid game. No one trashes pad campaigns mid game.
Yeah, I think that's essentially in fact is like the safety text here is. I mean, maybe if like you can get to threat 2 very early in a game. Sometimes you just runs R&D or HQ turn 1 and steals a tomorrow's headline, and you're already there, and it's like right, fine. But that's the time of the game when you really want this text to be relevant, and it's the time when it's not. It's like a C tier card. It is
I
money.
think ambient assets will be real at some point. That it will play 3 of these.
Yeah, if you're playing like ambient assets, like what else are you putting in there? Like you probably are just you're going with like, unless you've got like a working prototype type engine, or you're big on regoliths or something.
If you're putting this in your deck in a yellow asset deck, you don't have a yellow asset deck that's playable.
You'll both see at some point. You'll both see.
They unban R+, and then maybe this.
In the meantime, we can talk about Doomscroll. Drafter stats with give round 1 tag, do 1 net, do 2 net if they float 2 tags.
Yeah, this is good. This is way better than I first thought it was. When it was spoiled, I was like, why are you ever playing this over like Unsmiling Serevna or anything like that? Playing against it, I would play this over Unsmiling Serevna most of the time. I think this is really, you can't just run through this. Like you really can't just run through this like and go tag me, which is the biggest problem with most of sort of MBN's ice. It's like, I've gone tag me, none of your ice does anything.
Yeah.
This does. This does quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I remember having exactly the same thought. Like, I was okay. First, I looked at it, was like, "Oh, this is like good. Isn't like mind blowing." Then I talked with Brandon, and Brandon was instantly like, "This shit is ass. Like, you just play virtual, unsmiling over this. Like imagine like 15 more minutes of the same conversation." And after that, I was like, "Oh yeah, probably." But like after playing this, it's yeah really good. It's just so frustrating for the runners.
It's better than a lot of the cards in A tier, but it's not an S tier card.
Yeah, I think it's like it's not a like deck defining card. I think every NBN deck just is going to love this. It's like like same idea that the drafter has, right? Where it's like, but the drafter wins you the game, so like it's a bit different.
I mean, this wins you the game turn 1 if you run into it and you hit 2 ganked, right?
Interesting.
Okay, fair. Like, but Unsmiling does that more. So.
Don't try to talk us down from this card.
Yeah, no. I think this is like, I think this is an A tier ice.
Yeah, like it's solid A tier. Like 3/3 with frustrating subs is good. Like also it's in NBN where every single other ice is dog shit. So you like want to play this.
Yeah.
I mean, they have good code gates, as we're about to find out.
Okay, so we have also Discont Chesvo.
Discount Chesvo was still pretty good.
Fair.
Might be the best dice at the moment.
You actually think it's better than Chesvo?
No.
Yeah.
But I'm like playing 6 code gates, 3 Chesvo, 3 NPOT seems fine.
Yeah, that's fair. Does it mean A tier though?
No, I think B tier is fine
Yeah.
for it. I was trying to hype myself up to make to be really contradictory to common sense, I guess.
Yeah, like
but no.
Early game, it doesn't keep people out. Like it's going to be frustrating really late game against like Unity kinda maybe.
No, it's like basically it's just always 3 credits to break. I think is how you look at this. In the early game, it's 3 credits to break because you pay 3 credits, and in the late game, you have a breakdown and probably some way of like dealing with it. So it's an ice which almost always costs 3 credits to break, which I think is good enough for its res cost. You know,
I mean, Unity never breaks it for less than 4.
Yeah. But 3 credits is a slot machine that you always get unlucky on, right? So.
Yeah,
true.
Seems good.
Yeah. I think
like you put 3 slot machines in, and you would be happy if the slot machine never fired more than the first sub, and you'd still be like, yeah, this is fine. I'm still playing it.
I guess fair. So B?
Yeah.
Next we have Discount Market Forces. Interesting.
Discount Market Forces? I don't know what
okay, it probably is better than Market Forces.
Yeah. So
not by any meaningful amount though.
Yeah, bigger picture, like you either give them 1 tag or siphon them for 5 per tag.
Someone has to explain to me why they give a text on. I can't imagine a single world where you would click that button.
In Eternal,
I guess
Eternal you play Seesaws, this Particle Labor Boom.
That can't be the best thing to do. Chaotic Boom in Eternal. But more realistically, if they have 1 tag, you can give them an extra and then shipment off.
You also can like I think it's
slightly better than flavor tags.
No, like you also can play this, and if they float 1 tag, you can play this and end of the line them.
True.
I'm not sure what deck you're doing that in.
I don't know, something.
Sure.
Like, imagine if Super Modernism was still a deck that they didn't butcher and put under like a shallow grave. I think that could probably play one of these.
Like, I think this is like where you put market forces in a tier list, you would put this. It's like a card that sometimes will make its way into your deck as tag punishment, but sometimes you don't play it because people don't float tags anyway. So I'm not sure.
As a bonus, it's really good against like Tag Me Lisa in Eternal, because you can take away all of their tags so that they can't
Martian you anymore.
yeah.
That's kind of fucked up.
So like, there's a big bonus there. Lots of people say it's better than Mark. I think the numbers do seem like bigger, but I think the fact that it removes tags, like, it makes it a much less like scary card. Like, having 0 credits like sucks, but having 0 credits and still having 4 tags is much worse.
Yeah, but like if there are 2 tags and like 12 credits, you can get them down to 6 with market forces, whereas you can get them down to 2 with this. So like I think it's literally like same tags.
They have 4 tags and 8 credits. You can like take 2 of the tags and still leave them with 2.
Yeah.
Which is so. I think this is good. Like, it's a card that's only ever going to be played in 1 of, maybe. So it's like at max B tier.
I think it's literally the same card as market forces, like power level wise, right?
Yeah.
And market forces you like mostly a 1-off in like specific decks that like get you tagged easily. You play 3-off or something. But like in current meta, what are you doing to get the runner tagged except like Oppo? Exactly.
Are you advocating for C tier on this?
No, like B tier.
Yeah, I think putting it in B tier is very easy and complicated, because it's just like a card that you will play sometimes, and it'll be good when you play it.
Yeah, like there will be metas where this is A tier because tags are good. But it's
but even in those metas, you'll still only play 1 of them, right?
Yeah, 1 or 2. But like this is not a reason necessarily to try force tags on people. Like that's a problem with tag punishment cards, I guess, always. Like you have to get them tagged first, which is like the more important part of your main strategy. Right.
Yeah. Maybe there's a yeah, I think that at some point that I'm almost more worried about that first option. I'm worried about the give a tag, right? Now I know you have to be tagged to do that, but I feel like that could end up being the more problematic of the 2 parts of this. Like, if someone's going to break this card, it's probably going to be because they've got a good way of giving the runner 1 tag, and then they can follow up, give a second, and then do something.
I think that would necessarily mean that you need something that does something on 2 decks specifically. That
which at the
matters
moment
as
is
your
only
last
shipment.
pick. Yeah, but like shipment, you mainly want to score 5-pointers, right?
No, I think there's enough 4-pointers out there right now, and like potentially, like in Nebula, you could still score a 5-pointer.
I guess.
Even with
like I think it's still, even if that first thing is more important somehow, it's still going to be a B tier card. Like, you're not going to build a tag pressure deck because of this. You will put this in your tag pressure decks.
Yeah.
Yep. And the next card called IP Enforcement, you will not put even in there.
Yep. Speaking of bad tag punishment.
It's cute and fun and like exchange of information kinda, but like it just has too much like safe trailing on it, you know?
Yeah. I don't like
having to get your opponent down to like up to 3 tags for this to actually be good and be able to score you 2 points is tough. And having like it also has a trash cost for like even if it's 5 in like a tag me situation where it would like you would want to keep it. Your opponent can like force central servers to run through funhouse multiple times, trash it, which you don't want your tag punishment to do.
Also, if they stolen 2 of your 3-pointers, say goodbye to your tag punishment.
Yeah, like I just don't see it. Like maybe on 2 tags you can get like a 1-pointer into your score somewhere.
I think this card might.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I think someone will break this card. Yeah. I think there's stuff that you can do with this card which people are probably sleeping on. Some of it involves Stoke the Embers, which is a funny agenda as it is.
Mhm.
Some of it involves things like freedom of information.
Like Stoke the Embers is just the same as with 3-2 in this context, right?
It also gets some credits, I guess.
Not if there's a Hollow Man involved, because then it gets like you don't have to remove any tags. You just put it down and then
Step 1, stick a
it
Hollow
straight.
Man. Step 2, stick 2 tags.
Yeah, like having to go to 2 tags and still like needing to have stuff on table. Like imagine tag punishment that needs 3 tags to be actually scary. It just doesn't work out.
We'll see. I think someone will do something pretty disgusting with this. You can stick it in D tier if you want.
People will do way more disgusting stuff with the next card.
Oh yeah, this is like.
Will they?
I've been killing people with this card all day. It's a good card.
So touch-ups. Double place 2 advancement counters on 1 card, and then you get to choose type and put 2 cards of that type back in hand. How have you been killing people with this?
With orbital superiority, of course. Like, basically, new cards come out, and I see what I can do with orbital superiority to and them.
Yeah, I mean, I meant to comment on that thread, like, oh, Barmu building orbital superiority decks again.
Yeah.
It's like this eternal moving machine.
I believe in it enough to advocate for like a B tier card for this, at least. Like, because it does murder people.
Yeah, I think beta is definitely where I was going to put it. Like, it has upsides on it. It's a fast advanced Nebula piece, kinda sometimes somewhere.
Yep.
Which is like cute. And
it'll be good in Nebula once they ban petty caches.
Yeah. Also, like end of the line kill decks where like play this into end of the line is cute.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've been doing. And I mean, like, for instance, I had a beautiful touch-ups like kill earlier where obviously my opponent thought they were feeling pretty safe. They were sat on 3 steel skin scarrings. At which point I played touch-ups, moved 2 back into the deck, and then killed them with a single end of the line. It's also
one awkward thing about this is that you can, like, if you aren't sure that your opponent is on a million events.
Yeah, you can break totally, which is kind of hard.
And I did have a game where it went really long in the end, and my opponent in that one survived 2 touch-ups into lethal both times with me calling event and only hitting 1 event and them having just enough cards in hand to survive. And if I'd have called hardware or program on either of the and this was an Anarch as well, this wasn't like me playing into Arasana, I'd have got the win. So it like definitely can fail. There's also a fact that this is a card which can take stuff out of hand, or at least for the time being, and that's relevant right now because we're in potentially a very strong deep dive meta. And if you feel or know that the deep dive is coming, then playing cards like this just to be like, I'm going to get rid of your deep dives out of your hand so that I don't lose next turn, and then maybe I can win in the meantime. It is like totally relevant.
Are we pushing it up from A tier to A tier?
I think all of it's a bit too like. I would want to play in a tournament with these sorts of decks and see.
Like
see if they actually do stuff.
A lot of conditional, like it all, like none of the pieces maybe fit, like end of the line NBN, like importing this for 3 into a Wayland deck is hard, and like end of the line NBN decks are not in a good spot right now.
That's it. It's if it was like 2 influence, then I'd say it probably would be an A tier card, because I think then like the things it would be so much easier. You could just play 3 of them in Ginteki, 3 of them in Wayland, and it would be much more relevant. I think just leave it in B tier for now. I think it's good.
And then we can start doing Wayland finally after 2 hours.
Wayland got some incredible IDs. Both of them are going to go straight to B tier, should we?
Surely Ba has something to defend this with.
Yeah. So I need to check my final the final scores from the Bangan deck, which I was building today and verifying. 11-4. So it's, I don't know if that's
almost
D-tier,
it's not even undefeated on Janet Casual. You can't put it on the deck list right up.
Yeah,
I can maybe get talked up to C tier for Bangan.
I think it's C tier. It's cute.
I'm not going anywhere further than C tier. No. It's C tier. Like there's in my opinion, there is exactly one deck which you can play out of it, and it's the deck which I have built, because it's the only one which actually threatens to kill the runner if they don't run the remote. But like, unless we get some other, basically like Bangan will only ever be as good as the agendas that it has to play.
Imagine a world where you actually have face-up agendas with Bangan. Does that help a lot or no?
I mean, if they were as busted as like the public agenda, if you had
Oaktown and Cityworks.
Yeah. Cityworks would be insane with Bangan.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Cityworks specifically seems okay.
Okay, yeah, Cityworks maybe, but like you're like
I would rather play Aug if I was. I guess we don't have board.
Old Hollywood something.
Old Hollywood was never really that great though.
Yeah, but like if you had like face-up agendas, this would maybe kind of cook.
Yeah, if you had like ones
if you have even Oaktown, it could cook.
Yeah, just give me Oaktown, and then then you've got the speed to do stuff in Bangan, because you have to be very, very fast, because the minute that they get to about, I mean, particularly if they get to 5 points, then you're fucked. But even once they're on 4, you're in like a fair amount of trouble, because your ID text is only relevant when they can't win from just running the face-up agenda. So you have to be able to like be threatening to close out like turn 4, turn 5.
Yeah. Also,
I'm not sure I'm convinced, even in the world where Oaktown, but that doesn't matter, right? Because Oaktown isn't around.
Yeah. Also, it gets like the nostalgia points for Argus existing.
No, don't. It doesn't, because it's not Argus.
No, but like it's close enough. Like
it's not. No. The reason that people have been doing so badly with Bangan is that they've just been building Argus decks.
Yeah, because everybody
into
loves
Bangan
Argus.
ID.
Like...
It's not the same. It's very, very different. Like you have to treat it differently. Otherwise, you're like you can't just assume that like it will do anywhere near what Argus did. It's definitely a different deck. So
yeah, but like
it doesn't get Argus points.
I guess it's still C tier, right?
Yeah.
At some point, face-up agendas probably will come back, and you will be happy again with this.
And you will play them in AUB.
Maybe.
Because you're not talking me up from D tier on Swiki though. Swiki is just...
Yeah, Swiki is basically like the transaction Wayland, but like with a new coat of paint, like LARPing as a better ID.
Unironically, would rather be playing the all transaction ID than Swiki.
Yeah,
although
it's like a
realistically,
side
this
grade
paint
from
is-
like ID that is dog ass.
I think I said so at some point into the server, and people thought it was a hot take that Swiki was horrible. But
No, that's 100% factual. Who the hell defended Swiki? Like, no, this ID is literally like pointless.
If you think you have a good Swiki deck, just
Play it in
and
OB
it'll
or
be-
anything else.
Um,
Okay.
I mean,
Ba, you want to defend?
No, the only thing I'm going to defend is I'm going to defend Sid because they came second at Reading, which was quite the shark tank with a Wiki deck. I have no idea what it was. I don't know what it was doing.
honestly, it says wonder about their piloting that they meant.
But you know, I mean, Sid's a very good pilot, so congrats to them. Maybe they'll bring it to Bristol this weekend. I'll get to see what's going on there. But yeah, I have no experience of what Zwiki's doing.
Probably
I assume
Pluto's LARPing, I think. Probably.
if Audacity was still a card, it would be like a decent ID, and without Audacity, it's probably a pretty bad ID.
Be warned that for the rest of the Wayland cards, you're going to have to restrain me, because I'm like looking at all of them, and they're all going in A tier.
No,
so
but
maybe
if you're fighting with Ba?
Yeah, over a couple of them for sure. Right, let's
Okay,
go.
we can probably start with Green Mail.
Fine.
That was just better hostile, right?
Better hostile?
Yeah.
No.
In certain circumstances, it
In
definitely
certain
is.
circumstances, yes, but like normally no.
I mean, we don't have the outfit anymore, so
Yeah, so like even in like Argus or something, getting from down low credits, getting +5 and score agenda is so sick.
yeah, but giving a bad pub is like ruinous
Who cares?
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
And you could never play hostile in like any kind of asset deck because you definitely can't give bad pub out if you're
Wayland
playing
assets?
So.
Has that ever? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Orb.
Yeah, Ob and like Gagarin and
Yeah.
a lot of different decks.
Yeah.
I got the nevermind out there before I actually said the thing.
Like, just rezzing Biobok for literally 0 credits is just like one of the better things to be doing at the moment. Like,
it's still 4 credits, but you get it like back.
yeah. But you can work around that.
It's not literally 4 credits. Or it's not literally free.
But it's effectively free.
Effectively. So are you putting it in like A tier?
I think so.
No.
But like,
Ooh, really?
Biowok Green Mail is the thing to be doing in Wayland, surely. So kind of has to go high.
Green Mail,
I don't know.
What did you say? Green Mail is the thing you're doing in Wayland?
Like, I guess you can play Grinder Op, but that doesn't play a single new card. That's the other thing.
You get so much better agenda switch with like SDS and like.
Like if I'm playing Beer Wax, then I'm playing Eminence, and then if I'm also got free green mail in there, then my agenda suite is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be on Eminent. I think it goes in B tier. It's like it's not good enough to be A tier.
I think Hostile is A tier.
This isn't busted.
This is B tier. To me.
I do think I would play both, but I can see how Eminent is definitely the better option of the two.
Yeah. It's competing with Eminent, which is like too much.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about competing. Like, you can just play both of them and play SDSs, and it's fine.
It's not fine.
Yeah. It's B. It's fine.
I should say that it's fine, because I played a deck with it.
And then we have Discount Atlas.
Yeah. I think I'm it's the best
Yeah,
dividends card.
it's the least blank 3-2 of them, but it's still a blank 3-2, like too much.
Like, it is better than Atlas in some situations.
Watch out.
can-
Thread
you're-
carefully.
Yeah,
Look,
no,
like,
it's true.
Like, you're playing SDSs, and you Hollow Man and Atlas. I guess if you're Hollow Man and Atlas, you can just install it. But it gives you an extra click to install ice or whatever.
If you're Atlas countering for an ice, you're throwing.
No. I mean, like, if
Or
you,
like
if you,
you get Atlas
Hollow Man
back in hand.
Advance,
Yeah, but like
Book, you get the SDS,
that telegraphs
and you
so
push it.
much and like makes it so much easier for the opponent to actually cook you.
Oh, yeah, but it's better than Atlas in that.
No. You're not getting a situation where this is better than Atlas.
Well, the main situation where it's better than Atlas is you go score this with 2 counters,
Mm-hmm.
and then you instantly use one of them to get like a burst econ card or like a Rashida or whatever, and you push that immediately. Whereas Atlas wouldn't have let you install that card.
Yeah, there is basically there's some click compression here, which
Okay,
Like,
you get
to
one
be clear-
situation where this is better than Atlas. I think it's mostly a blank 3-2 still.
No, you definitely want to put counters on this.
You
It's
want
like
to put counters on
probably-
every single card, but like you just don't get to.
Yeah, like I would install advance this card as long as my remote was
Yeah,
decently
you
secure.
don't install advance like the. Okay, never mind.
I think it's definitely the best 3-2, and I think it's better enough that it goes in A tier. I'm only one person.
Bah, you got any help from me?
I think it's better than the other 3-2s, so I think we do put in 8 here. I think I might be down with that.
God damn.
I would move it down because it's not called Project though. It really grinds my gears that it's not called Project something.
None of these are called
So-
projects. Like, I think they're not doing like the naming conventions that FFG was doing. Like,
I mean, obviously not. but,
yeah,
like,
Project Ingotan is a project, which is the one awkward.
Oh,
But that is like an HB thing, right?
yeah,
yeah.
it gets to be a project. Like, what's the new clearance? Not from this.
corporate hospitality.
Yeah, that one. That
Yeah.
like should have been a clearance, I think, and stuff like that.
Yeah, fair.
I trust y'all to glaze up the next card hard enough for me.
I'm
because
not
I need
doing
to take
that.
a quick bathroom break. Oh, okay. I'll defend it and then you'll take a bathroom break.
Yeah, I mean, Bar can go ahead first.
Okay, what is it? I can't see.
Until.
Got it. Yeah, I'm my voting for S
Antill?
on Antill.
Hold up, wait. Are you not that? Anthill's great.
I slumber.
Like, this is.
It's like-
I mean, I've already.
Yeah, it's
this
good, but
is
like,
better than HR. So like,
no.
technically it should be S tier according to you two maniacs.
I can like give you
but-
8 tier at max.
Yeah. This is going in A tier. This is the best
At
of.
max, though.
Yeah, fine.
It's like,
yeah, this is good. It's a good card. Like this, you can get this to pop off. Yeah, you need to be able to protect it. Yeah, it's not free to res. All of that.
Yeah.
Well, it is free to res, ironically. But it's good. I've really enjoyed ducking some transfer of wealths by resing my one of these and making them sad. And you draw cards off it. It's nice.
yeah. Like, I'll just counter with every single negative thing you said at the first point. I feel like
Why would you?
it's specifically like an OB card. I think like in OB it's so much better than in somewhere else. Otherwise,
I
it's
mean,
like a thing that needs to stick in the remote. It needs to like be in the remote for a turn, so you cannot even push behind it, like you can do with humanoid resources. It's like gets you more value in the end technically, but like
Like,
I just have
It's
gotten
obvious-
too many of
it's
these like
obviously like-
pinhold.
yeah, it's obviously like very well. Yeah, but that's you. That could just be a Rashida getting pinholed. They've still used
No,
the
like
pinhole
you get a credit and a draw from a thing you stick in the remote, and then your opponent pinholes it, and you're kind of sad about that.
You still got a credit and a draw off it, which isn't the absolute worst thing. They've spent credits and a card
I mean,
to
it's still
go and
pretty
deal
bad.
with it. Like, obviously, you're
Actually,
not the
we haven't
happiest.
put this card in S tier yet. What happened?
No, but
S tier?
it's 80. It's 80.
What do you mean? Like, okay.
Oh, are you saying S tier? Yes. Tell
Oh,
Maxu,
I
and
thought
then
you
he
were
can
on
put
my
it- he can
side
put it in
here.
yes.
Look, I'm between humanoid is way better than this, but it doesn't matter. They're both Rashida. Like, you can put 6 Rashidas in your deck now as long as you pay some influence, and that's just good enough.
How the fuck is this? Is nowhere close, Rashida, brother.
If you weren't gonna do something useful with a remote on the second turn anyway, which happens sometimes, this is better than Rashida.
No.
Yeah. Like, this is 2 credits more, but 1 card less than Rashida, which is a trade I'd take most of the time. And you can, like, install some upgrades on the remote, install some ice on centrals. It's not that hard to engineer a situation where you're doing something useful with your turns anyway. And if it gets pinholed, it replace itself and give you a credit, which is fine. And also, that's not even talking about option shenanigans. Like, in
Yeah, I
ops,
think to me it's as in ob, a in other, like elsewhere.
I don't know. I've seen way too many people pay to influence to import this into asset decks and whatnot. Like,
Asset decks?
yeah, if you like put a lamplighter, put this behind it.
Oh, you want to play like bad eyes into this card? Makes sense.
Oh, that'll be a discussion for another time. But whatever
Yeah.
good eyes you think,
Okay.
exists, put that. put
Yeah,
this
yeah.
behind it.
So Ba is also done with Aster.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, only because you put flipping
Human
HR in
in there.
F tier, and I think that this is better than it. So by a long way, I think this is 4 tiers better than it.
Okay,
Well,
I
it's
guess
half a tier
I have
worse,
to be
but-
pressured into putting it in Aster then.
You would
Also,
put
I
this in
think
A
we want
tier,
to like
Axel,
give
or-
a shout out here that these are basically talking about like, I think at least that corp is way worse than runner. So like having more S tier cards in the corp tier list than the runner tier list doesn't actually amount to corps being that good, right?
Yeah,
Well-
these are based on compared to like the other
Like,
cards in the set, right? So
the current cards we have on S tier probably are better than all the runner cards. Like on a 1x1 comparison, it's just that runners got a lot more 8 cards.
Okay,
but,
that's
like,
fair.
more like all the 8 cards on this list are bad. So they're like, we actually have an empty 8.
Okay, fair. And I think,
But, yeah.
Augustus, you have hot takes on Plutus, right?
Well, my hot take is that it doesn't work. I tried. I did stuff, and I lost every single game. So,
Yeah.
if your opponent is like clicking for credits and doing nothing, I suppose you can put it in, like you can do something. So it's not literally, but it's just not it.
It like has a lot of deck building restrictions where you have to like start putting like suboptimal cards into your decks. It needs to stick on the table, and you like have to do like gimmicks to actually get it rest, right? So it has like
Yeah.
a lot of stuff going against it, and when you pop off with it, you score an agenda or something, and then your opponent runs and trashes it, and then you're hunting for the second Plutus because your deck is built around it, right?
yeah, I think this is a typical sort of pinhole problem. Like, as in, you say you're sad if someone pinholes your anthill. I don't really care if they pinhole an anthill, but if someone pinholes your res Plutus, then you're sad. Like, there's some obviously quite silly things that you can do with this, but most of the things that you can do with this are just get a bit more money. and I don't really want to put 3 of these in my deck to get a bit more money when I could just put a bit more money in my deck.
Yeah, I think like you play like most Bluetooth decks I have seen are trying to LARP as Nebula, where like try to fasten with petty cash, red level clearance, anything like that.
Yeah.
And
You've currently got an ID that does that for you.
Yeah.
Do it in that ID.
And even if you like a Nebula gets banned, and Bluetooth wouldn't be the best way to fast advance, right? You would rather just stick Hollow Man, which is
probably
sort of hard still, like not as good as
it's
Nebula.
better still, like Hollow Man can camp on the central server where this can't.
Yeah. We can probably still put this in C tier.
I think
like,
C tier, like it still does work, and it has like potential to be really good at some point. Where like D tier cards
I'm fine
don't.
with it being. Yeah, I'm fine with it being a C.
Okay, but that was the break. Next Wayland card is going in A tier again.
Yeah, Biawak. Archer 2.0. I guess better than Archer, kinda.
Yeah, it's better in Blue Sun, and that's all I care about.
No, of course.
Yeah, Trasher Resource is surprisingly devastating.
Yeah. Also, having 3 ended runs is really good. Who knew?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Boomerang get wrecked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is just a really good ice. It's like everyone's like, oh yeah, but it's gonna feel really bad when it gets crew charmed. It's exactly the same as an archer getting crew charmed.
Yeah.
There is no different. And yes, that felt bad because surprisingly, when you put a great big piece of ice in your deck, like an archer or a Biowak, it's annoying when it goes. But if you don't have a plan against that, then well, you need to have that's a card. You've got to be aware that crew's out there. But
also, this costs you 0, right, compared to an archer for 1. So this feels
if you've trashed a green mail or whatever it is to it.
Well, if you scored an eminent, it also costs you 0 for different reasons.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, I was maybe considering S tier for it, honestly, but maybe it's not Nebula tier, so probably.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I don't think you win in games because of this.
Totally
I think you're. It's going to help you win some games. You're going to be able to jam out behind this, and it's going to be a pain in the arse.
I mean, you're winning games when you're eminent domain into this, right?
Yeah, I'm still breaking it for 1 and a counter at the moment, so I'm okay.
1 and a counter with.
Flux. Poison Vial and Slapband.
Thank God! I thought you were talking about Flux Capacitor Revolver or something.
I mean, it does have Flux Capacitor in that deck, so yeah.
Okay, fair, yeah. So
for what it's worth, I did get stomped by that combination. But yeah, so you do have to be a bit worried about Arson when you're playing BO.
I won't. Don't worry. And Castle Droid, the Icefall replacement.
I've not thought a single thought about this card. Is it good? Should I be putting it in my decks? I'm currently not putting it in my decks. Okay,
it's like
I think if you need a 2 cost in Ob, you play 1. It's fine. It's okay. It now does at least cost 2 to get through it, so that's something.
I guess if you fire an Antill off Ob, it's not embarrassing to go get this. But I've been playing Descent, and that's Slot, which basically does the same thing.
Descent does the same thing. Descent has an extra ability, which is nice. The text on this card kind of never matters, right?
Probably not.
Yeah. So it's
unless
2 subs, which is cute for 2 cost dice.
I mean, if someone has a really fast crew start, they go turn 1 crew plus Devil Charm, expecting to go steal an agenda that was important to you or whatever.
I guess in that case, but
yeah, maybe in the super early game, because I mean, all they technically need is a crew down, right? To get, if this didn't have that text, then they could just put down a crew, run, and get through. This is requiring them to find something that isn't exactly a crew to get through. So I guess it's something, but yeah, I think it's only really relevant in the super early game against ice destruction decks.
I could see someone arguing for this being D tier, but it does like literally end the run, so probably fine.
Yeah, I think it's like C, that it's like fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Then Mosulus 2.0.
Oh, it's so far from Mouseless.
Yeah, I know.
Please don't call it Mouseless 2.0.
I
I'm
was so
playing
hyped
it in my deck, and I'm like, I would pay 7 to res a Mouseless if it was a Mouseless right now. Like, damn, this is.
I played 2 in my BTL deck and then regretted it and might actually go down to 0.
It's like,
yeah,
I was so disappointed in it after actually playing it. Like, I was looking at like, oh, this is Mosulus 2.0, I'm going to love this card, I'm chilling. And then your opponent runs through it. And you look at it like, it's actually not Mosulus. It's like Tithe.
yeah. What have you done? You've done it. Basically, it just says do a net damage. That's like literally all it says. It's the only relevant text on it. Like do 2, like -2 is nowhere near do a tag, like take a tag. Taking a tag is so much more of a
like
huge
2 credits and a click and everything.
Yeah, just it's incredibly disappointing.
Okay, so do you play this even in BTL like Glacier?
Probably not. You might play 1.
Yeah. I think I didn't play it in the Rush version because most of these didn't run your remote, but didn't run your central, so you just ran remote for that, and it's ended up being quite bad. If you're on the Glacier where you're like actually maybe advancing this with a wall-to-wall, could be defensible.
Yeah,
but
I think that's not a real deck right now. That's a problem.
Yeah. Also, it would be like literally the last piece of ice I would consider playing.
Yeah.
So
it's
like it needed the Mouseless triple advance text. Like if when you triple advanced this, it did it ended the run. That's all that's all it needs, as opposed to this like, oh, you get an extra counter somewhere, which is normally useless. Like if it had that, then it becomes an ice switch you could consider, because you could install this, you could whack a tree line on it, and then all of a sudden you've actually got a pretty a very hard to break ice with an end to run. As it is, you're just going to run through it on any turn other than when you're trying to deep dive and you don't want to lose your deep dive to the 1 net damage.
Are we talking about C or D here?
It like does enough, I think, that it escapes D tier.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got 2 in the deck which I've been playing today, and I'm not really planning to take them out, but I think that's mainly because I don't have anything better to put in that slot. So I'm not exactly sure
it's not
what
offensively bad, I think.
Yeah,
it
you would
still
always
does
Enigma over it, but we don't have Enigma.
I mean, it does a lot different thing than Enigma. Like, this is a central taxing thing. If you had like a thing you consistently could advance, like you get like a central upgrade or something that you can advance with this, it would be better. But like that advancement thing not really mattering at all makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
But like it's not offensive. I'm a doomer about like 21 counter log gems, so this also fills that fear. So
well, we've lost our other friend for doing that, haven't we? Adudua has gone now.
Big clip to deep Dudua.
I don't think we're gonna get to those kind of numbers again for everyone's sanity.
Yeah,
but
you can use the next card to advance a long time though, so it must be S tier.
Yeah, no.
The next card is better than I thought it was going to be. I've been playing it all day, and I actually have been getting quite a lot of value out of it. And I thought it was going to be.
Which modes are you actually using on this card?
I'm using install an ice from HQ without paying any costs.
Yeah.
And I'm using advance a card as the two most common things, because I have found like one of my main things to do here is to like put a second piece of ice on the remote with the first text.
That's +/0 credits, yes?
Yeah. Or well, so I'll install an agenda with Bangan face up. Then I'll use this card to add a second piece of ice to the server and advance the card, and then I can advance the agenda again. So I've got a double advanced agenda and a second piece of ice out, all in one kind of fairly quick turn, and it's that kind of speed which has allowed me to actually get into a position where I can pull out a kill in Bangan. If I had to like wait for a second turn because I needed to put a second piece of ice on the remote because they've got a Bankar out, all of that nonsense. Like you only have so many turns before they're just completely
I think
set
that
up.
sounds pretty niche, to be fair.
Yeah, but I think that's where it's great. I think that it's actually been pretty good as a sort of a rushy card. And I don't think that was what people thought it would be used for when it got spoiled. And I think it's good at being that card.
I think it's not unplayable. Like, there's too many modes. Some of them do something sometimes, but it's not better than C tier. I don't think. Like, it'll.
Yeah, the problem is like it still takes a slot in your deck, which could be anything else. Like, your meta has to be pretty bad if this is a good card, I think. Like the card power level has to be really low. It's like,
well,
I mean, like,
that's where we're at.
Like, it can't easily just be like, yeah, if you save a click, gain two credits, and like install an ice, paying one less, that's like a greasing that you play, and it's not very hard to make this into a greasing, I don't think.
Yeah, but like a greasing that just installs ice is a lot worse than greasing.
Yeah, but it can also be better than greasing if you already have two ice and you install a third plus.
I mean, yeah, it can be, but like it's still slots that you probably. I don't think you should use them on this necessarily.
Yeah, sure, most of the time, probably.
Yeah.
I think it still can do enough stuff to escape D tier.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's D tier. Like, I don't think it's offensive. I just think it's kind of a nothing burger. Like, I think
in the end, it ends in C tier, which you can like consider it. But if you just went with the heuristic of never considering putting this card in your deck, it wouldn't be a massive downside, even if there would be like a 1% situation where it's correct.
But did you want it actually in B tier, or did you?
No,
also
I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
Okay.
I just like I was
defending
more
the
impressed
card
than I thought I was going to be with it when I played it.
Fair.
I'm certainly more impressed with this card compared to how I thought about it, compared to how I thought about the next card we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
which I've been just disappointed with.
I thought we were going on the other side.
No.
My stance on the next card is that I haven't been killed by it yet, so it's horrible. And then that'll change whenever I get killed by it.
I think it's fine. Like, it does pressure people kind of tough sometimes. Like, I think Asset Ob plays this.
Yeah,
and
because
kind of nothing is kind of nothing else.
I think if you're throwing out like meat damage or net damage left, right, and center, anyway, then this makes a lot of sense. So if you're playing like an Alcoa deck with this in, or you're doing stuff in Orb with hostile architecture, and like Azef protocol and that kind of thing, then it makes total sense, because you have to be constantly pressuring the runner's econ, so by putting out assets which they have to trash or something along those lines, you also have to constantly be challenging and sort of pushing the cards that they have in hand. Because realistically, I could have. I have a couple of these in my Bangan deck. I could have won games with them, but at no point where I could have won the game with them did I ever have the credits to win the game with them. Like, it's a really expensive card to play. 5 is a lot, and it's not that hard for the runner to be in a position where they're not just going to die to it unless you have other stuff going on. So, I don't know. Like, lots of people are going to die to this because you're going to forget that it's a thing. You're going to get rolled on it out of something like Fule or whatever. But I've, so far, been quite unimpressed with it as a card.
Yeah, I feel like it's an asset card which you... like, it's an asset card in a deck where you actually deal damage to your opponent. Otherwise, I don't care about this card at all. But currently in the metagame where like Alcoa and I guess like Asset Ob are 2 real decks, it probably can see it play in those. Otherwise, like, I don't think it sees play anywhere.
Like, the thing is, even in those decks, in the sort of situations where you kill with it, you kind of were just like running away with the game anyway, right? If you're like getting a bunch of bladder one triggers. Because like, this closes down the window in which they can win a bit, but like, it's not that hard. Like, there's still a window. They can still like steal the 4th point and then like twinning R&D to hope to steal the 3-pointer.
Yeah.
And like, you give them 1 less turn or 2 to do it with this card compared to how they would have like bled out. I want to, on principle, put it in C tier, but I could see it like going high.
I mean, I was thinking about C tier also.
Yeah, I think we just stick it down there.
Yep.
And change our mind if something significant happens with it.
Okay, I think next card we might have an argument about.
Wait, what is the argument?
Fly Swatter.
Yeah, but like, do you think it's good?
No.
Or
do you?
No.
Okay, I fucking saw the Discont and Metropol like Andre video where they put it in S tier for some reason.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen people like praise this card like, oh, it's like they do their virus thing, then you rest. It's like they get toast, their Mosulus loses everything. Like, it's like a worst fucking like. It's a 2-cost ice that literally does nothing way too often.
Okay, I should probably like be playing it instead of Descent, because Descent text is really even less.
I mean,
relevant.
Descent text is more blank than this. Like, I think Ob probably can play this. Like, you move virus into this and like that. I don't. Yeah. Okay, you Antill into this, which is fine.
But like,
I think it's an A card.
This is also just during the runner, so like, this card is literally disgusting.
Like, Bao, what is your plan with this card when you play against a criminal or a shaper? Like,
then it's just a 2-cost code gate that ends a run. I can stick a anthill behind turn 1 or whatever. This card won me a lot of games today.
Okay, could have been just literally otherwise a blank card. Could it be a blank, like 2 strength code gate, or like 0 strength 2-cost code gate?
But yeah, but that's not the worst thing right now. Like code gates suck right now. We don't have Enigma anymore. You know, like, what are you playing? Like white space? Like, no, thank you.
In NBN decks, I would much rather be playing Mass and Adjustment stuff, right? No shot doesn't ever make you good.
Yeah, fair.
In Wayland, I would much rather play an F shark that like actually does something nasty, right?
Yep.
Even if it's on it. And it also costs 2
no.
to play.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because I think if you like, I think the res here, like the fact that you can just win. Like as long as you're doing something which is like, okay, I'm gonna do something in the remote, and I just need to secure the remote for like a turn. This is a really good card for that. Like a really good card for that.
You're thinking specifically a kill deck?
Like either you're doing like a kill line, or you're like scoring an eminent domain, or that kind of thing where it's like I really need to secure this remote.
And
for
your
like
plan for them
turn.
installing a boomerang is concede.
Yep.
No, like you if you're playing against Crim, then yeah, maybe you're
Against
playing
Criminal,
around it a bit
literally
different.
blank. Like against Criminal or Shaper, it does nothing for you. Except
It can do stuff against Shaper. Shaper's playing like some Shapers are playing for Salem, a load of them are playing for Mentors.
Seems very marginal. I can get tucked up to C maybe.
I mean, it's not. I think I was originally going C, maybe D for like the meme value. Like it's in the same camp as I think like Kessel Droid is.
I think it's way better than Kesselroyd.
I
I'd
don't
much
think
rather be
even
playing
close.
this than Kesselroyd.
I think people
I don't
will
know,
forget
Castle
this card
costs 2 to
instantly.
break. That's
Yeah.
I would much rather be playing Castle Right.
Yeah, but Kesselroyd's text, as we've noted, basically does nothing. So yeah, it costs 2
Yeah,
to
same
break,
here.
but this has
Yeah,
This-
this does
this
nothing
has
in a
text
lot of
which-
situations.
Against like one bad faction, yeah.
Like they install a Botulus on this, and then you're happy resing 2 for 2, and then you just have an ice that doesn't do anything for the rest of the game anyway. Like I don't think that's a very good exchange for you anyway.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I want to secure the remote for like a key
Okay,
turn.
you can play this in
Like obviously this isn't a taxing ice,
you
right?
import this into the Asmari deck from last meta, the EA Sports like bullshit deck, and that's probably fine. Anywhere else, no.
Even that would much rather play Messenger Chessboard because it's a way better ice.
I mean, against like if you just care about the one turn on the remote, like this is defensible there.
Like Mulch was playable last meta, so this would have been fine.
Yeah. Like I just don't see anybody actually caring about viruses here. And if they do, you play my virus over this every time.
Not if you don't have influence for it.
Then
Like,
you
I
fight
think
influence,
HP is-
cut the spin doctors or something.
HP is the only faction that doesn't have like a good code gate that to play over this that's relevant. And in HP maybe you play this, and it's fine. But I'm not happy. I would rather just not.
It's literally like bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I think it's better than that, but I'll let you decide. I'd put it in B. I'd put it in B tier myself.
I think it's C. It's like low C.
Yeah, I mean, there's Bangan in C tier, but I think that's because I don't think Bangan should be in C tier. Everything like it seems like Salendra tier. It's pretty close to that.
Yeah. It's like...
Oh, you see, I cut the Cylinders and put the Fly Swatters in, and I was much happier with the Fly Swatters.
I don't know about much happier. The way, yeah.
I mean, Cylindra is not a good ice, so you could cut bad ice to put more bad ice in.
No, I cut bad ice to put B tier ice in. Like, solid choice.
No.
I'm sticking firm to C tier.
Yeah,
Alright.
We're deciding this with Augustus.
Let's
I
move
can
on to
put
your
Lamplighter right next to it, right?
No, that just goes straight into D. It's a piece of shit.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this card is ass. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Wait, what part of Lamplighter equals IP block that do we not get? I don't.
This is
It's
not
trashes
IP
itself.
block. This is not IP block.
It literally has the same text as IP block. I don't know.
No, this is not IP block.
I mean, it's close.
Like you can't score agendas behind it. That's a downside trip. But just put assets behind it. Which, like, I don't, is there an the all our Alcoa decks? I would be surprised if they're not playing 3 Lamplighters.
But why aren't you just like?
Okay, I might be buying.
What? Why aren't you just putting them behind like a white space? Like essentially does the same.
Because this is better than white space.
Well, they can break this.
For 3 credits. Sure.
Yeah, this is way tougher to break. I actually hadn't thought about the assets thing.
like I played in my first game. I ran it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna check their ice because they're low on credits. Let's go. And then I ran into a lamplight and cried. I never want to do that again.
Put this. You have the fat behind this, and like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? You just have to keep breaking this. Like, spend 4 credits with Carmen. Thank you, brother. Okay.
Well, no, because it costs. You only pay. You
close
only
enough,
ever pay
close
maximum
enough.
of 3. You only ever pay a maximum of 3.
Only if you're tagged already, then you have to pay more.
Yeah.
Well, then you just take another tag.
You know, if it's ping behind it, ping into this, you have to break.
Okay, exactly. Ping into this.
Yes,
feels
or funhouse
good.
into this, or
funhouse into this.
Maybe we're cooking slightly too much.
Like then,
but yeah,
then
I actually
like,
hadn't thought about the asset thing.
How have you not thought about the asset thing? That's the only thing that you surely use it for ever.
Brother,
like...
I have played Baldur's Gate like for the last 2 weeks.
Alright, fair. Let's stick a walk behind it then.
I just I guess missed it, and yeah, that does make sense. Like my only thing I'd seen with this is like the Amaze Amusements thing, which is cute.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm putting it as an A tier, but I'm not like yes.
I can actually buy it at A tier.
Oh, screw you! If you're not letting me have Fly Swatter in B tier,
fuck
I'm not
Fly
letting you
Swatter.
have
What the
this
fuck
in
are
A
you
tier.
doing? No.
Okay, well, that's not a good comparison for you between IP enforcement and dissent.
Yeah, this card kind of cooks. Augustus has like swindled me here.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I would remain blissfully unaware of what this card could do, but I assume people have caught on, and I'm not doing myself a disservice just by telling them.
Yeah, like
pretty obvious.
A tier? Are we putting it as?
It's definitely. What are you doing? No, it's bullshit.
It's definitely lower than some cards in A tier.
Fair.
But it's very good.
Yeah, for sure. Huh. Okay. next card we can put in S tier, right? Petty Cash.
Oh yeah. It's probably not better than the Rashidas, but it's like.
It's your hedge fund 4 through 6 at the least. At the most,
and it's like
it's fucked up Nebula card. Like I don't know, like Nebula with this seems like accidental on how it works, right?
Yeah, I wonder if there was, because it feels like that's kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like we got all these funky transactions which would force sort of Nebula to spend influence in interesting ways to be able to like install stuff whilst using an operation, or more importantly, install agendas whilst using an operation. And then they just kind of, I don't know, whoever was testing Nebula didn't get to test Petty Cash or something, or they just didn't, or they completely intended it to be absolutely busted together, but it's obviously absolutely busted together. Now, not quite as busted as subliminal messaging might have been.
Yeah, but, I mean, that would have been extremely broken.
But in some ways it's better because it's a more reliable subliminal. Like, as in, once this is in the bin, it's always in the bin unless you're playing the virus that yoinks stuff out of the bin.
You can
which
also
actually,
compilation it.
Oh yeah, you can compilation it, or
there's
you
like
can
a small amount of counterplay, but it's really minuscule. And like
not much more to say.
Yeah, I think even in like normal decks, it's your hedge fund number 4 and 6, which is like already really good. Like PD, I think I put 3 in there. Just like your flex econ slots, you just put these in there, and your deck will have more money in there. It's kind of awkward to play sometimes, but like who cares?
Yeah, well, it's especially good in Ginteki where you can trash it to Hansei.
Hansei, Anoetic Void, everything, yeah.
And I mean, you've got to put them in PD because you're playing other bad cards like HR. You know, so you've got to have enough of those events that you want to play. Like, makes sense. Okay, last card.
Yep. Makata Langit grid. And has anybody found a use for this yet?
Yeah, it's like really good in grinder asset decks. Really good.
Skeptical of this because it only works if you have ice on the server. Otherwise, they can just go trash the grid and then run back and trash the other thing. And you've spent 2 credits to cost them 2 credits.
And a click.
Well, yeah, I guess you also would spend a click or whatever. But if you put a lamplighter on the server, and then you put this, and then you install a Bautista or whatever, it gets nasty. I'm not sure that that's the best thing to be spending your deck slots on. But it's like enough people are putting it in decks, and it's annoying enough that it's fine, I guess. Would be my take on it.
Yeah, I just feel like it doesn't do enough for you. When the other option is just playing like more assets that actually make your opponent do something.
I think in a world where the only sort of, or the main asset tech is Azamat, which gives you exactly 2 credits.
Yeah, fish.
I think this is reasonable. You know?
It's definitely reasonable. Like I'm talking about like B at minimum.
Yeah, I don't think I would do more than that.
Yeah.
But I'm on board with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting it higher than that. I was floating between B and C, so I'm happy as long as it goes anywhere there.
We have some really bad cards in C, and this is not. Yeah.
Okay, really bad cards in C. Do you want to put something below C tier then? Like,
no,
which of these are we actually never playing?
HR?
Brother, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm ever playing poetry. Can we put that in D?
Fountain might be a reasonable take, yeah. Like, if PD gets banned, you play it, I guess.
Yeah, like, PD just is better poetry, basically, I think. Like, you actually get your full operationals back.
Yeah, I don't think it goes binder. Like it. I think it will. There'll be decks out there. You do have to pay a bit of attention when you're playing against poetry. I don't think you can put it in D.
Okay, like my maybe idea for D is like cards that you never play and are, or okay, they're either cards you never play or put in your decks, or they're actually offensive.
Yeah, but like some people have been playing poetry decks, and
yeah, but that's because it's a new idea and cute and cool.
I think there will be some people fooling themselves into thinking poetry is playable enough, even when that's not the case.
I mean, I don't really think we should like count bad players' opinions on this.
Well, but they will be right that it's a playable thing to do, and they will win games with it. That's my point.
Yeah, maybe. Other than that, the Pyroid card is bad, the Pyroid upgrade, but it's Pyroid upgrade, which is literally like fine.
If you put Bangan in D tier, I'll let you put poetry in D tier.
Deal. Okay, I think this is our final tier list.
Yeah, I mean it's wrong, but like it'll do.
Yeah, each of us got to compile our own personal tier list so that we can get bragging rights when we're eventually right.
Yeah, I'm making a sodding lamplighter tier.
Yours is going to be up by S tier, yeah?
It's going to be by ass tier. That's what it's going to be.
All right, I think we spent a solid 3 hours on this, and I think
I need to go to
I'm
bed.
at least reasonably happy with it. Any final takes from either of you?
Yeah. Welcome back to
HR Gash, take it out of your decks.
Have a good night, everyone.
Alright. And I think with that, it will be us cutting the feed. I think if somebody cares, like, watch out, there might be some more content coming sometime in the future. so better watch out for that, and check out WooTube, and Augustus will probably do some content at some point somewhere. Alright, good night everybody, see ya in the next